Okay. I think this is very appropriate music to pick for this because this is the music you typically hear when you are social linking with people anyways, outside of like the emotional moments. So yeah. I don't know why I want to grab a controller. I don't have a controller for this and that'd be weird. I do want to add a one more tier because I don't know what I might probably use it for something, but I like having an F tier. I think that's just kind of for context.
Yeah.
And I wish there was an easy way to scroll this up and down, but like my computer's weird and I don't have a scroll bar. So, and if I do that, it's a lot of space. But you know what? We could start with a lot of space. So you can't see the characters I'm about to do, so we'll do it like that. Yeah, so I'm going to start with characters that aren't social links, but are not like the most important characters to the story. So, well, actually, first, wait, I need one more tier. This tier, oops, I didn't mean to change the color of that. I meant to change the color of this. This tier is, I didn't see their social link, and only one person goes into there. I don't even remember her name.
Yeah. The other Sun Arcana.
Yeah. So there are two social links that are like there's options for them. The other one I did actually see somebody else play through, and I saw them do that, but I've not seen hers. I think it's like Ayami or something. I don't know.
I could give you a brief, like very very brief.
If you want, I'm still not going to tier them because that wouldn't be fair. But.
Yeah, for sure. But for those who are interested and haven't played the game, when Shad JV brings up the other Sun Arcana, you would have the option between that character and this one, and the story is different, and the days that you meet with them are different, but the overarching plot for this character that he did not experience is basically helping her with her self-esteem and her self-image. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
And what an image it is. I think her haircut needs a little work, and she has a bit too much blush. But
a lot of people don't really like her because of the implications of harem root, because she looks very young.
She does look very young. I assume can't be younger than a first year.
Yeah, she would have to be. So
she's in a
freshman.
She's at youngest a year younger than you then, but like
Rise and Kanji are freshmen, so
I honestly just don't like the sprite though of her either. When I saw it, I was like, this feels like it's a different art style.
Yeah, it's also harder to 100% first time play through the game if you choose her social link, just because of the days and conditions where you can meet with her.
Yeah, I read that because I did. I did use a guide to make sure I got all the social links, and it recommended picking the other one anyways, and said that they can't verify, like the guide won't work if you pick the other opposite one.
Yeah.
Okay, so characters that are not social links but don't have heavy story connections. First,
Daidara.
I guess he's a blacksmith, which is really weird to have in 2011 small town Japan. I think he sells other stuff too, like antiques or something.
Yeah, and he also is. The town goes to him to resharpen their knives and take dents out of cookware and stuff.
Yeah. There's not a ton of social interaction I've had with him. I talked to him a couple times, and he appears in some of the other social links. So I don't have a whole lot to go by. He's, I guess, cool enough as far as shopkeeps with no strong connection to the player go. He's not like in a Y or anything, but like,
Yeah.
I think like C, which is a fairly neutral ground area, if C is for me. I think I'd put him in C. I'm fairly neutral to him. Do you have any opinions, or?
I like Daidara. I think Daidara is a pretty cool guy as far as just like the vibes of being that like gruff guy, but like at the same time like helping you out.
Yeah.
But like you said, like because he doesn't have a social link and you don't really interact with him much. It's kind of tough to endear yourself towards him more than like, oh yeah, he's just a cool guy that I get my weapons from.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, I don't see him in any negative way. I just, in the context of all these characters, I won't be able to realistically place him very high comparatively.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the next one on the list, it looks like, is Hanako, I believe her name is.
Hanako Tani, yeah.
Oh boy. So, like, unfortunately, Hanako is the fat girl trope.
Yeah, she's the butt of the joke.
She's kind of an insufferable character, but honestly, they designed that way because they wanted her to be the butt of the jokes, and like I don't want to fault her as a character for being designed like that, but I never found any of the jokes with her funny.
Yeah.
I obviously, because she was written to be annoying, she was annoying. And I honestly would put her in D tier.
Something that you probably didn't experience because it's really irrelevant is if you check your shoe locker throughout the game, eventually you'll start getting little gifts. Like, it's not like anything important, but and then it's not a quest or anything, but if you like go out of your way to figure it out, you'll learn that Hanako's the one that's leaving them for you because she developed a crush on you.
Yeah, I actually saw that a little in the other playthrough I did watch.
Yeah. Like, and the thing about Hanako is that, like, they made her to be like a very like confident to a fault character. Like she just is like unapologetically self-centered and narcissistic. So like ShadJV said, it's like kind of to like soften the we're gonna like she's the butt of the joke situation, you know.
Yeah, sorry, I'm zooming out the tier list a little better so it's more visible to people. But yeah, I agree. At Dark Data, you kind of got it there. Tried to make them annoying. Unfortunately, succeeded. I have no problem with them trying to make a character annoying, and I can kind of, to some level, appreciate that. But I can't appreciate it when 90% of it is fat jokes.
Yeah.
It's fat jokes and her being very creepy.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame. Like, I'm moving her down. She's F. Like,
yeah.
Not
because of her, it's because of how she was designed. You know?
She's just problematic as a character, and the game would only be better without her. So
yeah, 100%. Hopefully, in the remake, they fix that interaction.
At least make her not like overweight.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Give her a social link.
Maybe. I mean, I guess I don't have a problem with her being overweight. Don't make that the jokes.
Yeah.
But if you are going to intentionally make her an unlikable character, maybe then don't make her overweight because that.
For context, like one of the jokes that they do in the game is that like the group is making food, and your group makes it really bad so they can't eat it, and then they turn to see that hers is delicious. And she has a mountain of it, and they ask if they can have some, and she's like, no, because she'll starve, you know. But she literally has like a plate that's like anime size, like Goku, like bigger than like half of the character's model.
Yeah, and then there was also like one of the other characters, one of the party members, their scooter. She jumps to sit on it without them wanting her to, and it just breaks it into pieces. So, like,
Yeah, that's the kind of
yeah,
that joke that they make,
yeah, and
if you're wondering.
I can't condone that. I actually, before I get to the next character, I'll mention I actually was watching Rick from D-Pad, who I do the Zelda, we've been doing Zelda with. He was streaming Golden last night because he's been playing through. And we actually talked about this. I said that as much as I really do love Golden, there is a lot of problematic areas of its writing. And I'm critical of things that I enjoy. That's why I'm like, otherwise I wouldn't even be talking about Golden. But like, for Golden, I should say for in general, because it's just a lot of the stuff. And I heard that they didn't have I heard it was like they didn't have women on the writing team yet for that one until after.
Yeah, you could tell if that's the case.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, there's I. Yeah, you could write a great annoying character to hate, which would be great writing. Get that. Yeah. You could make a character with the intention to annoy the player and make them hate player. Just don't do it in offensive ways.
Yeah.
To turn up inheritance, I can. Just a moment. I should be able to turn up inheritance. Let me try. Okay, you know what?
JV's doing that.
Easiest way: lower the volume on the music and just raise the volume for the entire browser.
Yeah. While Shad's doing that, for the record, Persona 4 was my entry point into the Persona franchise. So a lot of these characters have nostalgia, but I'm pretty, like Shad JV, like I'm pretty objective about the things I enjoy. I think him and I really bond over our ability to criticize the things we enjoy.
Which is helpful because, like, I don't think I'm a very negative person, but I can be critical. I think it helps you enjoy a thing better.
Well, yeah, and, for sure.
And I think you've mentioned it was like also Persona 4 Golden was like one of your like first like big like story like RPGs.
Yeah, well, Persona 4.
Yeah, Persona 4.
Not Golden.
Yeah, 4. Sorry.
Yeah, base 4, which I have, as I joke around all the time on stream. I literally have it next to me. I love this game. It's great. I love 4. 4 Golden is okay.
Dark Data, you do got to get around to playing it. By the way, there are going to be spoilers over the course of the stream, so including like heavy story ones. If you don't want to be spoiled with the game, I understand. Don't hang out here for the stream, but like if that's completely irrelevant to you, then that's your choice. Okay, well, next character, I guess Igor.
Igor.
Well, I mean, like, because, like, in one way, like, is he very important to the story? I guess not directly.
Yeah, it's not Persona 5 Igor.
He's important to the gameplay and mechanics, and he's definitely... He's not a social link, and he's not, like, completely tied to the overall arc. He's tied to the themes of the series overall. Igor we've gone over in other games because Igor's always Igor. Like, aside from when he's not Igor.
Beside when spoilers. Not for this game though.
Yeah, Igor is a constant. His personality doesn't change over games. His role doesn't really change over games. He exists
where there was one set of footprints. It was that Igor was just sitting ominously at the other end of the beach and was not following you.
Yeah,
but it was always visible.
Yeah, Igor exists in a place outside of time and space,
and we're here for it.
Between
dream and reality.
Dream and reality. Mind. What?
Yeah, soul. My Soul and body, dream and reality, something like that.
I think it's between dream and reality, mind and matter, or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Either way,
come to the Velvet Room.
Like, Igor's great. I appreciate him always existing. He doesn't necessarily, like, he's there to provide you services. He is not there to sway the outcome of things. He's there to be a resource for you.
Yeah, you're right. It's dream and reality, mind and matter.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I've heard it a lot of times in the past year and 9 months. So consuming everything so close together.
Yeah, although 5.
But yeah. All that considered, even if he doesn't have anything super important to the series, or it's not the series, it's important to the series, important specifically to this game, I still have to put him in as A rank character. Like, I love Igor. He's our bud.
Yeah, like Igor is like such a great way to get the player to be like, oh, this is a weird guy. I don't know if I trust him. And then the entire game, you're like waiting for the foot to drop, and it never does. And you're like, oh no, he's just like a cool dude. He just like looks like he's deranged, but yeah, no, he's just a guy. It's just a silly man helping you like confront the demons of your psyche.
Yeah. I know that both me and people I've seen play it, and at first glance get a little afraid of him.
Yeah,
he's a very intimidating look, and
I mean, I definitely flinched when I saw him for the first time. I was like,
yeah, and he looks like he could be like the one manipulating everything. Oops, I'm trying.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, which is such a fun subversion in all sense of the words when you think of the story as a whole,
Ty said he's there to fuck up your fusions. He doesn't do that.
I mean, he kind of does. Like because in this one, when you fail, he miscalculates where the table is, so the cards fall on his head. Is that how it works?
Is it? I don't even remember what the failure animation.
Yeah, did you have an accident fusion in
I had to have been.
Because in 5, it's the twins, right? Like their machinery like breaks.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I don't know what they did in 3 Reload.
Oh, 3 Reload is my favorite. 3 Reload, because usually he like hurl like the cards fling towards your forehead and go through your head.
Yeah.
But when it's an accident, they don't go through and they bounce off your head. You'd fall over, and then you see the cards kind of flutter down to the ground. and Elizabeth just puts her head, or just face palms. I love it. It is my favorite
so
one.
Good.
It is so goofy.
That's so good. Yeah. In base 3, it's the same as 4. So it's he when he's summoning the persona, like he like does a spread. That's funny, Data.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the result of the fusion. If it's Mara, then no way.
If it's Mara, then yeah.
Then yeah.
But yeah, he does the spread, and then the cards like float up into the air, and then they fall back down into the book, I think, and then he opens the book, something like that. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it because I don't remember it happening, but I've got most of the compendium done, so I feel like it had to have happened.
There's no fusions in 4 that require accidents to fuse. I know in 5.
I know, but accidents, you can't control them happening, so I did a lot of fusions to...
Yeah. The thing that makes them more likely in 4 is the weather. It's like a specific, I think it has to be like rainy or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah, next is it Kushinawa? Is that her name?
Kashiwagi.
Kashiwagi. I don't know where I got Kushinawa.
Yeah, first name Noriko.
Yeah. Well, I can't call her first name. She's my teacher. Yeah. Well. So yeah, she's one of the teachers. She's your teacher. For 2/3 of the school year, basically, I believe.
Yeah.
Like essentially second and third semester.
Yeah, you probably should have done Moroka first.
I'll get it. It doesn't really matter. I'll say about his after.
Yeah.
But
she comes in after Moroka leaves.
Yeah, and Moroka's issues, and we'll get to that. But she's kind of her own issues.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see in her yeah, you can't really see.
Cursed.
It's fine. It's fine.
Cursed.
You don't need to see. There is a lot of cleavage.
Oh yeah. The button is past the bra.
Yeah,
The button is past the bra for amount of cleavage.
She I'm not sure if she'd even say borderline sexually harasses students.
Oh yeah, no, she actively. Yeah, unfortunately.
She's very petty and wants to essentially be declared more attractive than the high school girls. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I personally, I like to echo what Zycro said about writing a great annoying character for Kashiwagi.
Yeah,
like
I'm
Kashiwagi
trying to-
is like the perfect example of that, because
Yeah,
the
that's what-
entire game you're like, oh, I hate Moroka. Can we get somebody else? And then you get someone else, and you're like, oh no.
I mean, my reaction was, oh no, she's hot. And I'm honestly trying to debate if she's a low A or a high B, because she's super problematic as a character, but I don't hate her.
Yeah, she's like well written, problematic. Like she's like interesting to experience.
She's like
you know?
this person should not be working in a high school and should probably have a restraining order.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, not the worst teacher we've had. So
yeah, right. They've had worse.
I'm gonna give her a high B, but let it be known that I was contemplating a low A. I don't hate her even as much as I probably should. I find her amusing.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely no Kawakami, you know.
Yeah, no, she's kind of the polar opposite there.
Yeah.
But I mean, for context, for those that saw my 3 reload one, I put Miss Toriumi really high. So, and she was kind of problematic. I guess not as problematic though.
Yeah. Well, the Persona games just have this thing with problematic teachers.
Yeah.
Because Kawakami was also very problematic.
Yeah,
And
in
obviously,
different ways.
you know, yeah. And then obviously we get every other teacher.
I can't see. My eyes, oh my god.
If you're looking for Moroka, he's next to Mitsuo Kubo.
Yeah, I guess I'll do Moroka first. Moroka.
Yeah, that's a news reporter.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do Moroka first. So Moroka was your teacher before Miss Kashiwagi?
Yeah.
Nickname King Moron.
King Moron.
You can't see it as well there in the sprite, but if you look up his sprite, he has a massive overbite. And he kind of treats everybody like all the kids, at least. I don't know how he treats adults, but he treats all the kids like utter shit. Sorry. He talks down to them. He gives them unnecessary punishments, and he's just an awful person. And he's clearly very miserable in his life, so he takes it out on those around him. And then he dies. Which is the best part of his character arc. And then we get a new teacher.
Yeah, then you get a new teacher, and like I said, it's like the students are also like, oh, I hate King Moron. And then when they get Kashiwagi, a lot of them, if you talk to them after, they're like, "Oh man, I kind of miss him now."
Yeah. I think one of the party members even says like, wow, maybe he wasn't that bad or something like that, or I don't know. I'm putting him in a low C.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you know that about King Moron. He had a folder full of reset pictures.
Oh yeah, no, I heard about that. That he had a very uncomfy obsession with character we'll get to.
Yeah.
With a child idol.
A pop idol. Yeah. A child pop idol.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's low C for me.
That's fair.
I'd contemplate high D, but I acknowledge that he's supposed to be dislikable.
Yeah.
But I just dislike him.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a final run through and see if you want to shift anybody after you do it all, you know?
I possibly, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we will do this reporter. Does the reporter have a name?
Mayumi Yamano.
Oh, that report. Okay. I forgot. That was so early in the game.
Yeah. That's kind of important to the plot, but yeah.
Kind of important to the plot. Not very long.
Yeah, she's important to the plot, but not present for any of it.
Yeah, she's dead most of the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't even formulate a strong opinion because you don't actually have an interaction with her. I think you just see her on TV.
Yeah. The only thing we know about her is that she's a reporter. She's having an affair with a political person that we'll get to on in this tier list if they're here. I don't think they're here. Oh yeah, they're there. And she dies the day the main character shows up in Inaba.
Yeah,
she's the first corpse.
The first victim. A body has been discovered.
She's the first victim that we're present for. There's another one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Before that,
was there?
Yeah.
No, she was the first victim.
It's does Misuzu Hiragi not die?
No.
Oh, that Misuzu Hiragi's the wife of.
Because there was only two victims before you start interfering. But yeah, I'm putting her there, kind of C tier, because it's another character I don't really have enough interaction to have a strong feeling one way or another.
Yeah.
But that's better than Moroka, at least. So
yeah. No opinion is better than a poor opinion.
Let's see. Okay, what is this woman's lady? I went in here like only a few times.
What is her name? I just know her as like the mama of the
yeah, she is the mama.
Let me look it up.
By day, just went into video. By day, she runs a convenience store. By night, she runs a bar, and you could feed her fish, whose name is Akihiko, which is really awkward to me.
Yeah, she does. She does have a fish.
Oh yeah, the eel. That's what it is. It's an eel. Is it an eel? Or was it just a longfish? I think it was just a very long fish. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sozai Daigaku. That's not it. Shiroku. Shiroku is the name of the store.
That's probably her name too.
It's her last name, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know. In terms of the trope of this type of character, I don't like her design as much. I feel like they intentionally tried to make her a little more like you of a design than like Mama or who is it in Persona 5?
Who? What do you mean, Persona 5?
The mama.
That's Lala Escargot.
Yeah, Lala Escargot. Like Lala Escargot and Mama, I think their designs looked a bit better. I think this woman was more made to be like a joke kind of thing. A little more offensive.
I found it. First of all, she has an oarfish named Akihiko.
Okay, it's an oarfish. Yeah.
Yeah. And her name is Old Lady Shiroku. Yeah, is what she goes by. Shiroku no Oba-chan.
Yeah. She's not as bad
in the
as
original Persona game. She didn't have the bar at night because you couldn't actually leave your house at night.
Yeah.
So she was only the pub owner. She was only the convenience store.
I didn't know you couldn't leave at night, but I knew that her bar didn't exist.
Yeah, it didn't exist. Mm-hmm.
I'm putting her above Moroka because she's not that bad, but I don't particularly
she's not
like
problematic.
her.
I guess you could work for her.
Like I said, she's a little. I think her design's a little problematic. I think they didn't have
definitely.
Like she just looks like they probably should have had her like. I don't know what's the word. Like pass a little better, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. Like it looks like she like they just had to just put on dress.
Her enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I think they did better with Mama in AI Somnium Files, and they did better with Lala Escargot in 5.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's favorite, Tanaka, and his amazing commodities.
Chica Neto Tanaka. So good.
Obviously, Tanaka was demoted in this game from Social Link in 3 to just
TV personality.
Yeah, just TV salesman. But like
super demoted in 5 to being a black market online store
that I saw like twice because it actually took time away to interact with his store.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a once free every Sunday or free action every Sunday.
Yeah.
But he at least had a cooler looking 5. But either way,
you're using Tanaka in this game. You're not using P3 Tanaka.
I know, but it is the same Tanaka, and it's hard to like be like, oh, I don't know him not like what he's like now.
Yeah, but like how does he contribute to the story, right? Like how...
That's not the only thing they're rated on how they contribute. It's a personal like.
Yeah.
And I'll put him high C.
P6 Tanaka is just gonna be a door-to-door salesman.
P6 Tanaka is it's just a mail-in order thing. You see an ad for it with his picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other opinions, or should I move on?
No, we can continue. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Namatame is kind of a big plot.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if because wait, there's one at here that's not a social link or plot.
Yeah.
Or big plot, I should say. Saki Konishi.
Saki Konishi.
So when I first interacted met this character, I texted Inheritance a picture of her saying that she seems kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to getting to know her. And then the next day she died.
Yeah, literally like with less than a half hour later, he texts me again. He's like, she died.
So
yeah.
I like the concept. I like the idea of Saki Konishi. I like the image of her I created in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. You were like so filled with intrigue. You're like, oh, it's a character portrait. She's important.
Yeah, I was thought if she was a party member even.
Yeah, because ChatJV doesn't even look at the covers for the games.
It's better that way.
Yeah, he doesn't know who the party members are gonna be.
Listen, it's better that way. It's better to be surprised and have to guess.
No, for sure.
Especially with the late name
characters. You genuinely
characters.
didn't know whether she was gonna be a party member or not.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if she was a party member or a social link.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually only got like 2 scenes, maybe 1 scene. I don't know.
Like one scene interacting with her directly, and then another scene interacting with her like negative self-thoughts.
Yeah. I still want to put her in low B.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the things we learned about her, I did like her as a character and wish she stuck around a little longer.
Saki's introduced by taking a break from working at Walmart. That's actively like running down her own family business, and she's taking a break from working like a double shift. And then the son of the general manager of the Walmart like flirts with her while she's at work.
Yeah,
and she's like, yeah, yeah, you're so funny. Don't get me fired.
Yeah. It's a little weird of a situation. But Yeah, Zai, it was great she got a portrait. And honestly, I kind of hope in P6 more minor characters get portraits so it's less easy to tell who's going to be like a social link or something.
Oh yeah. Or they just like get it to the point where like the art is good enough that you don't even need the portrait. Like,
I guess. I really like having the portrait.
I like the portraits as well, but I'm saying like I've seen some like really good. Like I know that it's like getting like lambasted right now because of the AI stuff with the level 5, the new weird multimedia thing that they're doing.
I haven't seen
it. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. They use AI for their backgrounds for their trailer, and everybody's mad about it.
Okay.
But the character expressions are very good from what I saw. Like they're like very physically expressive.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't want that. I just want both.
Yeah. Having a nice little 2D, nicely drawn image is also very nice.
Yeah. Either way, Saku Kenichi, low B, and
Yeah, I mean, other than some like people who are not social links, you still got 3.
So we got 3.
Oh yeah, that aren't social links. If you want to tackle those,
that's the issue: is whether I want to do the social links first or the important plot characters first.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I should probably do the important plot characters.
I think so too. To just lay out the story.
Are you counting you as one of the 3?
Oh no, then there's 4. I didn't even realize.
I'm missing one that you're talking.
You got the gas station attendant, Mitsuo Kubo.
I didn't see.
Oh no, you didn't see Mitsuo!
He is so NPC looking. My brain just tuned him out. There was just a blank face there. I just had single person prosopagnosia.
You're validating his methodology and his way of thinking.
I mean, to that I say maybe he should have looked like a freaking
he's literally the only
something.
person wearing a yellow shirt. Like that's the brightest shirt in the group. And you didn't see him. You didn't see him.
Right here, I'm moving him to the front. It is actually
so funny.
Yeah, no. He's also not. He's only kind of partially important to the plot. Mitsuo Kubo.
Yeah.
So in the game, you go into TV worlds for different characters to pull them out, to try to save them, because if they confront their shadow, which is Jungian psychology, it's essentially like kind of like their id. Yeah, it's their id.
Yeah. It's your repressed self that you don't want other people to see.
Yeah, and if you confront it directly and deny it being a part of you, it'll turn into a monster and murder you. So
yeah,
Mitsuo Kubo is set up to be halfway through the game the villain putting people into the TV world.
Yeah, he's the fake out villain.
Yeah, he did kill Maruroka, the teacher you mentioned, but it was a copycat killing.
Yeah, he didn't actually put them in the TV. He just killed Moroka and threw him over a telephone pole.
Yeah. I will say when I first encountered him in game, I think I texted Inheritance being like, oh god, please just get him away.
Well, like his pupils don't have like light. Like it's literally just like a void.
Yeah, he literally has no light in his eyes.
Yeah,
and so I think that's intentional character design. He's supposed to, because he's set up to be a villain, so you're supposed to be like, oh, this guy did it.
Yeah. Like he like flirts with Yukiko in like a weird way. So like he's like around enough that like you could theoretically be like, oh yeah, like he was around and being weird. Maybe he did do it, type of thing.
That being said, I think you can write a character to be suspicious and for you to try to think it's them without making them look terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I don't
point somebody else on this list.
Yeah. So I don't particularly love him. Yeah. And I'm actually putting him in D, first one in D.
This is my soapbox for this game, and I know ShadJV hates it. But I really think that with very few rewrites, Mitsuo could be another party member.
Maybe a character redesign.
Yeah, he would need a light character. Yeah, fix his eyes and make him not have killed Moroka. You know, like maybe like attempted to do it, and then like the actual villain had to like step in and do it because he didn't do it. You know, something. But
yeah, and if they were ambitious, it could have even been your actions split the story there. Kind of very
like if you were friends with him, like if you like up his social link before a certain day,
or even if they really were ambitious, like a New Game Plus, Digimon Survive kind of thing, where
that'd be cool. And at least like an alternate, like harder like ending.
Yeah, and then you kind of learn the truth. But and like change the events of what happened. But
yeah, I just like his Shadows design. It's like a little fetus inside an 8-bit like Dragon Quest person. Yeah, like it's like creepy and weird and gross, but like I would love it. Like, you know me, like I'm still to this day like I want a Sentai Persona game using the Featherman IP that exists in game.
Yeah, and I'm 100% for that. I'll say to everybody that for the later part of this game, I pretty much exclusively had everybody in their Featherman outfits.
It's like Featherman has been around since the very first Persona game. I love Featherman.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Featherman is the Sentai they watch. It's like Power Rangers.
The Power Ranger, for those of you who don't know what Sentai is. Yeah, but birds. And it's so good. But like that, like Mitsuo would be like kind of like that. It would be like, because this Persona would almost definitely be a mech, and that'd be so cool. But that's my soapbox. I'm getting off of it.
Some sort of I was gonna say some sort of Japanese mech, and I was like, wait.
Some sort of Japanese mech. It's just like my Japanese anime.
Some sort of like traditional like mythological Japanese mech. That's what they have to be.
It's like a mechanical Japanese kaiju, you know?
Mechagodzilla.
What?
But yeah, I will say that he had possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorite, dungeon, because
It's so good.
it's Shovel Forge.
Yeah, it is Shovel Forge.
It's like Minecrafty, but it's kind of a cool like little video game theme thing within a video game.
Yeah, and all the prompts and stuff are like very video game coded.
Yeah,
like it's like, are you gonna like? He's like, oh, dealt critical damage to Moroka. Continue. Yes. No.
I think it was literally Y/N or something.
Yeah, Y/N.
But yeah.
Mitsuo Kubo.
Okay. I will save you for last, just because.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even if it probably won't be the most I have to say for a character. But so Namatame. Namatame is the second person you're set up to think is the true villain.
Yeah.
He is a he was former politician, now delivery man, or was he a postman? I guess
he's a delivery man.
Yeah, and he's been the one throwing people in the television, but at least after the first two. But so, and in a very interesting story point, you after a character you're very attached to ends up dying, you have the option to throw him in into the television, kind of as a revenge thing, and get an ending there. But if you don't, which you really should do it at least once, because like it feels good. But
the catharsis.
Yeah, after that emotional moment. But if you don't, and excuse me. Oh god, ad. Oh god.
Whoa.
There we go. I didn't think it'd do ads. Weird. So if you don't do that, you end up learning the truth, and he's been throwing people in the television thinking that was protecting them. And the fact that every time he did it, you ended up saving the person reaffirmed that he was protecting them.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little scary when you get to know him, but he kind of was heavily manipulated, and I think I ended up feeling sorry for him, at least I did.
Yeah, I did as well. Like, he really truly meant well.
Yeah.
And you can see like the argument of like, I can throw people in televisions to save them from a murderer. Like, nobody's gonna believe me. Like, I just gotta do it. You know, like,
and you could see why he became like manic and like a little out of his mind.
Yeah, like the pressure of like, oh, who's next? Like, I don't even know. You know,
the pressure of that, the not understanding how any of this is working. Knowing that he can't even tell anybody, like, because then he'll get put away, and then he wouldn't be able to save people anymore. Like, I totally understand how somebody could end up like Namatame, given the circumstances, you know. So it's very believable. Yeah, he's a believable, I'd say, kind of a well-intentioned villain, even if he's not even meaning to be a villain.
Yeah, like, I do think he's a villain, he just didn't realize he was, you know?
Yeah, he's a villain, but he's not an antagonist, which is a weird thing that doesn't come up often. There's plenty of characters that are antagonists, but not villains. I'd say he's a villain, but he's not an antagonist.
Yeah.
He's not trying to work against you. I would put him in, I'd put him in low A rank.
That's fair.
I think his design could be a little more interesting. He looks very plain, but I think it was kind of to make him not stand out, because you can see him numerous times in the game.
Yeah. Like, most people don't even realize that he has a portrait.
Yeah, but if you talk to it, you see it. And that's another argument I have for more like minor characters should have portraits, because it kind of gave something away. This is important. And like the moment, like the people I watched the play, at the moment they saw that, they were pretty certain he had something to do with what was going on, and it was very early in the game. Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah, we're talking about
but we're kind of I think winding down it.
Yeah.
And now this is a weird one to jump to.
The regular,
But-
unassuming public.
But it's the
gas
only
station
other.
attendant.
It's the only other one that's not a social link aside from
Yeah.
you. So,
Yeah. It's just a gas station.
yeah,
attendant
just
you
the
meet
gas
at the beginning
station
of the game.
attendant. S rank.
Yeah, like she helps. She welcomes you to Inaba, shakes your hand, and puts gas in your car, and then you go home, and you have a migraine, and you don't know why.
I mean, why are you saying she though?
I've always thought that they were female coded.
Yeah, but they use male pronouns until the big twist.
Oh, do they?
The other characters do. The other characters think that it was a dude.
Oh, fair. Yeah, no, even in my casual playthrough, I always thought a female of them, but I guess it's been a while since.
No, they ask the man at the gas station and stuff.
Interesting.
They refer to the character as male. As you guys can tell, which I'm really hoping people that plan to play this aren't listening to this.
Oh yeah,
unless they
definitely.
really don't care. Like
At this point, truly, if you want to play this game unspoiled, leave, because this is gonna be end game content.
yeah. But that aside, you end up in the true ending that comes later than any other Persona game's true ending.
Yeah, you thought you were
happens
done
The day
multiple
before
times.
you leave, when you're saying your goodbyes to everybody. If you end up choosing to go back to your hideout to think about things rather than just leaving, you end up deducing that you still don't know how all this happened, and you kind of things lead back to this gas station attendant who turns out to be Izanami.
Yeah, no big deal.
Those who don't
Literal
know,
god.
Izanami is one of the two one of the two Shinto gods who essentially gave birth to the island of Japan, most of the gods, everything.
Yeah, it's Izanami, Izanagi, and Susanoo.
And Izanagi happens to be the persona, the main character.
Yeah,
But yeah, so she's Izanami. I don't think they ever fully say whether she's the Izanami and gods are real, or if this is a human's ideal created her.
yeah,
Because 3 made it clear there can be supernatural beings that just exist outside of man. But 5 had a lot of pretty much everything was created from the human
desires,
unconscious.
Yeah,
So I don't know what she is there. She is
I
very
think they keep
attractive.
it vague. Yeah,
And that she does have in the original myth, she does go to the underworld and stuff and has a rotting corpse with maggots look, and they don't have maggots, but she does have a kind of skeletal body form, which I guess is as attractive as that could possibly be, which is not very, but as far as Big Villain manipulating everything that happened, it is very much I'd say more like Persona 5 than Persona 3, in that it's kind of out of left field.
yeah,
Even if you technically met her at the start, there wasn't really much build up. I like her design, but I kind of the way it was so close to the end, it just kind of felt like a Gynex ending, a thing where just throw some wild plot thing at you at the last moment.
yeah. I agree. I definitely think Persona 4's story is the highlight. I think the ending kind of struggles to be as emotionally impactful and relevant as the rest of the game.
And I think base
fun.
I think base 5 had that same issue though too. So
yeah,
it's the problem
Yeah.
where you just want to suddenly throw a god into things when there wasn't really it wasn't dealing with that much.
yeah.
But I'm still putting her a high B because I do like her design, and as far as left field villains, I've seen much worse. Like, she's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, social links.
Social links. I guess the party members will be last.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to go tarot card order?
Well, then the party members are not last.
Yeah, they'd be first. You're right. You're right.
I don't think enough people would notice even tarot card order.
That's
Like,
fair.
some people would, but like, I don't think most people are as knowledgeable as you about that. I mean, you as in you, not you as in the character named you.
You Narukami.
So I'm just kind of sorting the other party members into
Oh, in the order that you recruit them.
well, and putting them back here where so we'll get to them after. So we will start. We're also gonna save you. They're this person
That's fair.
for before the party members.
Ooh, are you really?
And-
Are you really putting? You're really putting I at the beginning?
No, that's not intentional necessarily. I'm just kind of sorting the ones that I want to do later.
No, I know. I feel like you gotta give them something to look forward to.
Should I?
You got.
I can't-
opinions.
Outside of the party members, I can do them kind of in areas that you interact.
No, it's not.
with
It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to riff while you're doing stuff.
Put you this character there,
Yeah, I'm just
and
adding
get
dialogue
you
while
very
you're
right.
organizing.
We'll do this character first. The fox.
The fox.
Listen, it
What
is
does
one
it
of the
say?
earliest ones you do. Because it's scripted to at least start the social link, I believe.
Yeah, it's automatic to start it.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly.
So yeah, what does the fox say?
The fox says, "Give me your money."
Yeah, Dark Tales, classic solution JRPG stories, throw a god in the story. But yeah, the fox is very out of left field because it's not a person, and how do you build a relationship with a fox? This isn't a talking fox.
Yeah, just an actual fox, not even a magical one.
Yeah, this isn't even a Koromaru kind of thing. This is this clearly is not necessarily a regular fox because it has some level of intelligence more than a wild animal.
Yeah.
Heck, more than
Data
probably a
is-
domesticated animal. But
Is that a Hi I'm Daisy reference?
what?
All your yen. Yip.
Oh, I don't know.
I sent you the video. You just
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I still need to watch that one. Sorry.
It's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, the fox resides at the temple, where you can essentially take its requests. It has requests that people have written at the temple, were like prayers, and it wants you to fulfill them because then the people, when their prayers are answered, will come donate money to the temple. They never really, I think, address fully who this fox is and what their relation is to it all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's some mythology thing I'm missing, but
Well, foxes are temple protectors in Japanese myth. Like a lot of temples have foxes on
okay,
fox statues.
okay, so it's a
but,
cultural.
But
thing.
in this case, I think the fox just like lives under the temple, and she works to
Oh, yeah, it is a
keep
she.
it up. Yeah. She's because like that's at the end of the game you realize that she had kids.
She had babies. That's why she had to make the money to take care of her kids.
Yeah, she's a working woman.
She's a single mom. The dad walked out, went for cigarettes.
But yeah, so yeah, she's trying to keep the roof over the building so she can have her babies in peace.
Foxy mom. I mean, if you find a literal foxy, but
yeah,
sure.
This is not even like furry.
This is not anthropomorphic. This is just an anatomically correct animated fox. About as anatomically correct as you can. It does go weirdly onto hind legs in a way that makes me uncomfortable. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's really about it. You don't really... It's a weird social link where you don't actually, like, get to know the character. It's just requests.
Yeah, you get to know the community member of the community of Inaba and their problems.
Yeah. It's a fun little side social link side quest thing, but I honestly... I wouldn't really want it back because it did feel kind of like a wasted social link slot when it could have been like just a series of side quests.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it is one of the few social links that provides a service that's more than just boosting your fusions.
Yeah, and Persona 5 was the one who introduced that as a mechanic.
Yeah. The fox, though, will appear in the TV world and will offer you full recovery of your SP for a price that gets cheaper the higher you raise the social link. And by max, the price is so not inconsequential that like you never have to worry.
Yeah. Like at the end, you get like a 10% discount from the original price. Like you only pay 10% of what.
Yeah, you get 90% discount.
Yeah.
So I am putting her on B tier, mostly because of she's a very useful social link, and less of she have any sort of compelling story, because she didn't have much of a story.
In the remake.
We're gonna do Margaret next, because Margaret is another one that you don't really get to know the character a ton.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Margaret's the Velvet Room attendant, and unfortunately, unlike Elizabeth and the twins, who had a series of events where you could take them outside in the world and like actually get to know them, Margaret's social link is just doing fusion requests, and she does have some personality shown throughout them, but like you never really get to know her much, which is a little disappointing because she has a really great design. She is
you get to know more energy. Of her. Definitely big mommy energy. She's like the stoic big sister character. Like she's always trying to help in her own ways.
Yeah, her and Camilla Fire Emblem would have things to talk about.
Oh Lord, the dream team. Like they could both be my mommy. It would be great.
What were you gonna say? Tell them what?
Oh, what? No, now I'm just like in a parallel universe in which Camilla and Margaret are my moms. I love them. I love them both so much. ChatJV knows. Camilla's my problematic fave from the Fire Emblem franchise.
Don't worry, Tharj is mine, so we both have problematic ones.
But I like Margaret. Margaret's great. You get to learn more about her in the spin-off games and in the TV show. But
I look forward to that.
She's just again like big mommy energy.
It'll probably after consuming more of the side content, I would probably have different opinions. Unfortunately, because I never really got to know her in the same way that I did Elizabeth or the twins, I don't feel as attached to her.
And that's totally fair.
Especially, like, Elizabeth is the one that I really, like, latched on.
Oh, yeah.
She's my favorite.
Like, you can see yourself being friends with Elizabeth and Theodore. Like you can see yourself.
I mean, I would say
you don't know
friends. Maybe friends with benefits. Elizabeth is very
yeah.
She knows what she wants.
She knows what she wants, kind of girly. And then you could see yourself as like a big brother character to like your annoying twin sisters.
So honestly, thanks to the extra content, I actually like Lavenza a lot too.
Yeah, but Margaret is definitely like, oh yeah, no, she's cool, but you know, she kind of does her own thing.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to it, but there was another Velvet Room attendant in the Golden version that kind of, at least in the Golden version, overshadows her in terms of like getting to know them.
Yeah.
And interacting with them. So, I still have a positive opinion. I'll put her in B tier. Above everybody that's currently in B tier.
Oh, fair. I would have thought mid B.
Is that what you would have done, or?
No. I would have thought you would have put her in mid B.
Well, I mean,
like,
I think I like her more than the Fox.
Yeah.
And probably more than Izanami. I didn't mention, I believe she also has a special effect. I think the discounts to the compendium come from her fusion.
Yep. The Strength Arcana dictates how cheap your fusions.
Yeah.
I think fusions. Yeah, I think fusions.
Yeah, and usually in the other games, usually that's determined by how much of the compendium you complete. But
yeah,
but she that directly affects it there, which really incentivized me to do them as soon as possible.
Oh go ahead.
The guide I was following was going to have me do all of them right at the end, right before the final boss, and I was like, no, I'm doing these like I want the benefit.
Oh no, yeah, like in my I have obviously I have a new game plus set up that I keep separate for whenever I want to start playing it again. In that setup, I made sure that my compendium had the exact perfect ones that she needs, and that I had enough money to literally do it as soon as it's available. I just max it out that day.
Nice.
Like because why wouldn't you? You know,
why
it's
not?
like, yeah.
Dark Data
So
said
good.
that you'd put her in M tier for mommy.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'd put her on Camilla tier.
Okay, I think next I'm going to do a character by the name of Saki Konishi's brother.
Saki Konishi's brother.
Because that's what everything in game lists him as.
Yeah,
The
literally.
social link
even
menus,
the
everything.
UI, yeah,
The hints
the
on what did
GUI.
people do today? Like, she's Saki Konishi's brother.
She's Saki Konishi's brother.
He's, sorry. But, wow, my mind's even slipping now on what his name is. No!
Naoki.
Naoki. Which was tragic because I actually love Naoki's story.
Naoki's great.
Like,
yeah, Naoki's good.
Naoki came off as kind of prickly, but like I know at this point with Persona games, never judge the characters by the first encounter.
Yeah.
Plus, right off the bat, like by the time he started a social link, his sister died.
Yeah, literally, he's introduced as Saki Konishi's brother.
Yeah, and so like, yeah, he's kind of seems like he doesn't care, but I was kind of went in having a lot of knowledge on stuff like grief, which I've talked about a lot in my 3 reload tier list. And the whole time I had that knowledge, I'm like, he's grieving. And the payoff is really great at around like rank 9 or so, where he finally like admits that he's been trying to. He thought that how he should be reacting to his sister's death is how people react like on television and in media, and that he should just be like sobbing and stuff. And because he's not doing that, he must just not care.
Yeah.
And it was just so powerful. By rank 10, he does cry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm tearing up right now, like when you explaining it, because like that's like a really strong
Yeah,
like a storyline, you know.
yeah, and there's a lot of kind of they dip into kind of the Japanese cultural like assumptions that like he needs to like now like pick up the slack for his family and stuff.
Yeah.
And the societal expectations and stuff, and people all judging him for how he behaves, so he's not even allowed to properly grieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Naoki is an S-rank character for me, even if I screwed up and forgot his name briefly. Like,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, he's one of my favorite characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's very well written in a game that sometimes struggled with how well written some of the characters are.
Mm-hmm.
And it spoke to me at a kind of deep level. And if Naoki was like a real person, I would want to be his friend and hang out with him.
Yeah, 100% for sure. Like, I feel like Persona as a franchise, like, was with 4 started experimenting with like a more anime tropey goofy story while still trying to keep the grittiness of the Shin Megami Tensei and its precursor, you know, because even 3, you know, like the character stories are so much more impactful in like their context, whereas like 4, a lot of them are just like very silly, but then you'll get characters like Naoki and like another character that we'll get to a little bit later, and you're like, oh damn, like yeah, this is where the franchise like really exists, you know. It's in this space where it handles these heavy topics.
Yeah.
And then the goofy anime stuff is really just fluff to sell copies, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, hydrate. Okay, we'll do the sports social links now.
Woo! Ichijo and Daisuke Nagase.
Yeah, I'll start with the one that I actually picked. The soccer team. It was a soccer team with Daisuke, whose name always makes me think of the manga DN Angel.
Yeah.
Mainly because... Did you have to get it? Okay. Mainly because growing up, I read DN Angel, but it was like one of my first like Japanese media with like Japanese names, and so I did not know how to say the name, and I always read it Daisuke. But Daisuke, it said he's on the soccer team. DN Angel. DN Angel was good though. It was a pretty good. It was probably a shoujo, to be honest. But
yeah.
But oh well. I liked it. But yeah, Daisuke, kind of his story is that he had a relationship in middle school that fell apart, and he kind of got stuck in the past, I guess.
Our copy of Volume 1 of DN Angel, by the way.
Nice. Yeah, I have them in my room. But yeah, he ended up not giving it at all in sports because he was afraid to kind of move forward and hit his limit. He was afraid to like date girls, and as we mentioned, the two sports. I don't think I did mention the two sports confidants. No matter which team you pick, they do both interact because they're like close friends.
Yeah,
it just changes the story you get and who's the focus.
Yeah,
So,
who's
like-
the focus of the narrative, but they're still interacting with each other.
Yeah, so like Daisuke, like the other one, Ko, is it just pronounced Ko?
Ko, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ko keeps trying to like set Daisuke up on like dates, and Daisuke does not want to, and it's because he's not over his ex, and you end up having to help him go and face her again, only to find out that she's moved on, but that helps him move on. It's a nice enough story. I don't know. I didn't feel super attached to him as a character. I don't think it was a bad story, but I didn't find him super relatable. But I figured that would be true for the sports bros in general. I would put him in B tier. Right below the Fox. Okay. You got anything else, or should we move on?
Like you just did Ko, right?
I did Daisuke.
Where is he?
B
on
tier.
your tier
Middle
list?
of B tier.
Yeah, that is Daisuke. Yeah. I just wanted to verify because I get them confused all the time.
Yeah, no.
I like Daisuke. I like Daisuke a lot. I like Daisuke's because no, it's in the other one. It's in Ko's where
Yeah,
because Ko's is basketball, right?
Ko's basketball.
Yeah.
Ko's, as I said, I watched somebody else do that social link, which actually made it stick a little less good in my mind because I wasn't interacting directly. But from what I recall, his was he was like adopted.
Yeah. He's adopted because his parents
Couldn't have
his
kids.
adopted parents couldn't have kids.
Yep.
But they recently were able to actually conceive. So like now he's like in this weird middle ground of like, where do I stand in this? Because like they had me to have an heir, but now that they have like a biological heir, like do they even still care about me? You know, like it's a lot of that and a lot of like helping him kind of like understand life, and like you help him get over a breakup, like one of his first breakups and stuff.
That's Daisuke.
Is that Daisuke?
Daisuke is the breakup.
Oh yeah. No, he has like an arranged thing, right? Where he's like, there's like a fancy party, and like I remember it's like it happens on the roof.
The thing that stuck out the most for me with Ko is I remember later in his social link, he's given a letter supposedly from his like I think birth mom.
Yeah.
Trying to like affirm his value, and he's able to almost immediately knows that the letter isn't real and that his adopted parents like had it forged.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of a touching thing that where they're trying to still make him feel valued.
Yeah.
I do like him actually more than Daisuke's story, even though I didn't experience it firsthand.
Yeah, I like Ko more than Daisuke's.
I'd still put it in
That's why I
B
was like
tier.
trying to verify who's who.
Yeah, I'd still put it in B tier, but I'd put it higher in B tier.
Yeah.
Probably below. Below Elizabeth, but above Izanami.
The attendant. Yeah, because the guides usually want you to do Daisuke's because it's a little more lenient. But Ko's, I think, is the stronger of the two stories. Especially because you like see Daisuke in like other people's social links, so like you still get a lot of them. Whereas like Ko, you see less so.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to get to know him more.
Yeah. Okay. So next, Yumi, the drama club girl.
What's Yumi's last name? I forget.
Ozawa.
Ozawa.
Yanni. No.
Yeah. No, the other one is Ayane Matsunaga. I don't know. If we figured it out.
Yeah,
the other son.
Yeah, Yumi is the one opposite. If you don't pick the one that I have here in bottom tier because I didn't experience her, that means you would have picked Yumi, and as I said, she's in the drama club. Her social link, a lot of it is about her estranged father who left her and her mom to buy milk at the gas station like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah,
and he just got back, but now he's dying because he spent so long at the gas station and forgot to eat. I don't know.
You know what happens when you can only live for so long when you're living on gas station hot dogs and Twinkies. Not sponsored.
Yeah, but seriously, it is a kind of emotional social link, because her dad is on his deathbed and now wants to see her and her mom. Her mom wants to be there for her dad, but she doesn't want to because her dad abandoned them.
Here, keep going. I gotta go turn the light on. I can still hear though.
Okay. And so obviously she feels kind of like he just came in and he's ruined everything, and like now that he's dying, now he needs them, which is a valid reaction. He didn't really, being the type of person he ended up being, he didn't really earn them being there for him during his last moments. At the same time, me as a person, I would be like, I mean, they're dying. I might as well, like, give them this last thing, even if they were shitty. And that's kind of how her mom is. It does end up, when he passes away, she ends up feeling awful and wishing she was there for with him more, because she did love him, and they end up her parents, before he passes, do tell her that they named her Yumi because it means to bear fruit. And so she ends up quitting the drama club because she wants to go experience other things and try to figure out why she was born, which is a very kind of heavy thing, but her dad did just die. And the epilogue for her is her she does say she actually joined the drama, or is thinking of joining the drama club again. It's like Saki Kunishi's brother. It is kind of a little more grief focused of a story. It's a little more unique in that partway through the death happens, which is super awkward because that's on like rank 8, and rank 10 is romance, and how the guide I was following ended up doing it had me get to her romance choice 2 days after her dad died. Which is really awful. I also want to note that this is Persona 4. I think kind of Persona 3 did this too, where they really lean towards the romance, and if you go the platonic route, it kind of feels crappy.
Yeah, it's like you're being a bad friend.
Yeah, hers is notably possibly the worst in the game in that regard, because in rank 10, after her dad died recently, hopefully not 2 days ago unless you're playing it like I did, but still recently, either way, she confesses her feelings to you and can't really bear to see you like rejecting her, so she turns around and basically is like, if you agree, then you can just hug me. If not, just leave the room. Don't say anything. Which I unfortunately did see a person do the platonic choice, and yeah, you just walk out of there. Don't say another word. Yeah. And don't see her again till the epilogue, which is super awkward.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how you, man?
Hey, last time I saw you, I literally walked out without saying goodbye after you said you love me.
I walked out to the gas station.
Yeah, I thought you needed more milk because your dad forgot to bring it before he died, you know. But yeah, I do like Yumi as a character, and she's probably like my third choice if I was romancing one girl. I did harem root, unfortunately. Bad choice. Harem root in this game makes you feel guilty, unlike 5.
Oh yeah. No. If/when the remake comes out, if they don't change that,
no,
I'm gonna have to like
they
emotionally pivot to just like Ayase, just do platonic for Ayase, because like it's a lot more tolerable to be like, no, I don't want to have an intimate relationship with you. Like, we're just friends.
So I just left. Yeah, but yeah, 5's harem route ended with Goofy scene. This harem route ends with you turning down every single girl one by one. When they're trying to confess their love on Valentine's Day, because you only could pick one. And they all sort of know that there's somebody else, but don't want to say it. So yeah,
a heart shattering.
So yeah, either way. But if I was only romancing one, if I ever play this again, she'd be my third choice. I wouldn't necessarily pick her first, but I do like her a lot, and I am putting her in A rank. I think she had a very well written story. I'm putting her above Igor, and I'm actually putting Igor below Namatame now, because Namatame did have a good story, and Igor just exists as a good, cool person. I think there's someone else, didn't realize it was everyone else. Unfortunately, that was me. You have anything else you want to add before I move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so the last of the non-party member classmates is Ai Ebihara. You get her social link while doing the sports team social link, because she joins as manager. Is it manager? I think it's manager.
Yeah, manager.
Because basically she skipped school too many times and she needs to do something extra to look good. But she, right off the bat, was like, I'm not actually going to come to any of your practices. I don't care about y'all.
Yeah, she's like the complete opposite of Persona 3's team manager.
Yeah. So, and the first rank of trying to hang out with her, she makes you skip school to go shopping with her to hold her bags.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's literally like an in-game thing. It's not like, oh, it's implied, like you actually lose a day of classes.
Yeah, you have
to give you like stats and stuff.
Yeah, you have to skip school for her. And I know others that didn't even give her social link a chance after that, because she comes off very badly. Yeah. Her early social links involve her being very vain and seeming kind of awful to like there's a nerdy guy that tries to ask her out. But her midway through, her social link takes a very sharp right turn when she develops feelings for either Ko or Daisuke, depending on which team you're on, because they stand up for her when a bunch of kids at school are calling her essentially a whore. Not even that. No, they're calling her. It's essentially equivalent of saying she has an OnlyFans. They're like, she'll do anything for money. So like, which, but
no, that's just it. I'll talk about I later, but I don't remember very much about it, so it's just fun to like hear.
Yeah, no, the guys all gossiping about her awful, and the sports bro that you're friends with ends up being like, wow, what the heck, guys, that's not cool. And she overhears it, and kind of, she's a little distraught by the rumors, but she's also like, I know they exist, I'm used to it. But she ends up developing a crush for that character, so you have to tell that character that she likes them. They're like, yeah, I don't like her. And then you have to tell her, and she's like, oh, Okay, yeah, that's fine, I guess. And the next thing you know, she's trying to jump off the roof of the school. And that's really when everything starts to come out, and you find out that she grew up in another town, was overweight and kind of treated awful by guys. The guys she liked ended up calling her gross and didn't want to get her germs and stuff. But then her family came into money and ended up moving towns, and so she took it as a chance to create a new her. She lost a bunch of weight. She started to pay attention to fashion stuff, and she's basically like, guys don't care how you are as a person, they care how you look. So she focused on her looks. And when she found out even her looks weren't enough, she was like, why would any guy like me? They don't like me for who I am or for what I look like. And then the most interesting thing is her social link at that point, you can possibly be her fake boyfriend. And that doesn't affect whether you decide to date her later on. It affects a story split, though, in her social links, which I've only saw in the one where you decide not to be her fake boyfriend. And which I think was really good because it's not even a fake boyfriend, it's a rebound. Whether you want to be a rebound. And if you don't, then she actually develops a genuine bond for you, and by the end actually confesses she really has feelings for you, and she knows that now. And I think, honestly, she's a very well-written character that went through a lot of crap, and she grows. Like, she's a lot of kind of what I like to see most in social links in Persona, where the person genuinely doesn't just grow over the course of the events, but grows partially due to your influence with them in the bond you grow with them. She learns to be actually confident in who she is. She learns to that she doesn't have to make herself look pretty to be worth love, but she also, that doesn't mean she's not going to try, but she overall, I think, also very interestingly, she's one of the few social links that you can reverse and also break. I think she's the only one that you can do both. She's her
in 4,
trying to romance her is a minefield. But yeah, overall she is honestly S rank for me, and if I replay it and only date one girl, I'm probably dating her because I really liked her character arc. I'm still putting her right below Saki Kanishi's brother, because Saki Kanishi was a great character, so her brother deserves that. Sorry. But yeah. Did you have any thoughts you want to add?
Yeah. I as I told ShadJV, I played this when I was very younger, like I played it close to its actual release date in America. So I was a teen at the time, and as somebody, not to reveal too much of my own social links, but as somebody who got bullied a lot, and also didn't have a amazing grasp of the English language yet, I really intimidated me as a person. I just felt very, I see my bullies in video games that I'm playing. So it was hard for me to connect with her as a younger adult, just teen/young adult. And I really only pay attention to the stories, like the first or second times I played through it. I played through Persona 4 countless times at this point, but I just remember the main plot. Character starts out this way, ends out this way, and then like the little bits I catch if I'm paying attention, but usually I have a podcast or a YouTube video open and I'm just multitasking because it's like a comfort thing for me to replay them. So I is one of those characters who, for me, obviously, it was like that initial for lack of a better word, like trauma is what stuck more. So when Shad started talking about her, I was like, oh yeah, like there's like obviously she's gonna grow because most social links do, but then like you took the time to kind of like break down her character in a way that I never really did, and it's like one of those things where it's like that's like the beauty of the Persona franchise, right? Because like Igor, right, like you can't really judge a book by its cover in any capacity, because characters that may initially come out as one way are completely different if you take the time to know them. And I think it's like a good lesson in real life too, right? Like obviously, like it's hard. Like I wouldn't say try to befriend your bullies. Like that's not necessarily what I'm trying to take away from this conversation.
Yeah,
but definitely it's one of those things where like in this controlled environment, it's nice to be able to, next time I play this game, go into it as a more open individual that's willing to see past initial trauma responses because of the growth that character undergoes, and how that narrative shift like creates value in it of itself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to ever imply that like her being how she behaves at the start of the social link is excused by who she becomes. The bad stuff we do isn't excused because we became better people, but also there needs to be incentive for people to become better people.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot in current culture that doesn't allow that for people, that you make a mistake, and thanks to the internet and thanks to how people are on social media, you're not allowed to ever move past that and grow. You're just forever treated as awful. So like, what reason would you have to try to be better if people are still going to treat you based on how you were initially? Yeah. It's definitely not the main character's responsibility to help I grow as a person. But I'll get into my interpretation of the main character when we get to it. But I think for whatever reason, out of the kindness, he became her friend anyways, and she did grow as a person. And I think that kind of complex character growth is just, it's very important to acknowledge. I think a lot of people that don't like I feel that way because they don't want to accept growth. They want to accept people at how they initially are.
Yeah.
And which is a shame, because Persona as a whole is very much about that character growth. I think I, in a lot of ways, is one of the, if not the best poster child for that on Persona, of a character where like the character I think of closest to that honestly is like Junpei from 3. Like a character where comes off initially to seem like just really unlikable, but then has so much growth over the course of their arc that you see that they were actually a much more complex person than they seemed, and that they that how they behaved was based to their own trauma responses themselves, and we're all going through that. Mm-hmm. But again, like you said, that doesn't mean you have to be friends with your bully, but it's a good it's a good growth of yourself as a person to realize that your bully is a human who probably went through some stuff. You don't have to befriend them. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't befriend them, probably. That shouldn't be your job if they're hurting you. But you should also realize that good and evil rarely is that black and white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also think honestly, all things considered, isn't that awful. She makes you carry your
oh yeah
stuff,
like adult me like re-experiencing because like since you've mentioned it, like I have gone online and watched like the social link, and like it's like you said, like holding I hold someone's shopping without them even asking me to. Like, it's not like, and then the skipping school is like, yeah, sure, but like, as somebody who has gone through a lot of school, you know, there's plenty of times that I'm just like, I just don't feel like going in. Like,
Yeah.
like, I get it, you know, like, there are days where you just don't want to go to school.
Yeah. And I do want to say, if I remember correctly, for the conversation choices for Social Link, the things that give the most points are not the like yes ma'am kind of things. It's the stuff where you show a little backbone. She doesn't she doesn't want somebody who's like her little servant.
Mm-hmm.
She wants assertion. And I
she
think
just wants somebody who can match her freak, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
Did you not like that?
I'm not going to think on it too much, so I don't know. Okay. Now to move on to what is her name? What is the daycare mother name?
To tell you, or you?
I'll know it as soon as I hear it.
Eri Minami.
Eri, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of 2 social links that you get. 3 social links that you get from Job.
From working, yeah.
Which is, I believe, exclusive. No, it's not exclusive to this game.
In five you have to do the Soba job to.
Yeah, that's essentially the same thing.
Yeah. And then 3, I don't remember 3 needing.
I don't think 3 needed any of the jobs.
But
you
need money though.
What?
You need money for Tanaka.
Yeah, but 3 also gives you so much free time to do
You're
jobs.
drowning in it, yeah.
Eri is as I said, she's a mother of a child who goes to the daycare that you work at. Yeah, and not really a mother, she's a stepmother. She initially comes off kind of not caring about her stepson. She married this man who she didn't find out till right before the wedding that he had a child. She was like, oh, I guess I'll kind of learn to deal with it because I love him and we'll figure it out. And then as soon as they got married, he went off overseas to business. Now she has to take care of a boy she doesn't know at all.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh, literally, I don't even think I would know that man. It's like you're telling me you had a kid this entire time that we've been dating, and you not once brought it up.
Having kids is far from a deal breaker for me. I'm at a point where I actually realize I find it attractive if I know a person is a good parent.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
But if they're hiding it from, if they hid it,
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
having a kid.
That'd be the red flag.
And never bringing it up is a problem.
Honestly, she should have ran before they got married. A lot of my issues. So Eri, I have very mixed feelings on. I feel bad for her as a character, but a lot of my issues with her are things that she should have been able to do by herself. She shouldn't have gone into this situation. Now that she's in this situation, she, as the adult in this relationship, should be taking responsibility because she doesn't take care of the kid. She brings him to daycare and then watches TV all day. And she doesn't know at all what he likes. She doesn't talk to him. But then she complains they have no relationship. And I'm like, you have no relationship because you're not building a relationship. Like, a kid isn't just, especially like this kid is like, what, 8, 10? He's an elementary school student.
Yeah.
I think he's 9. I think they said he's 9. I'm not sure though. But he's not at an age where he's going to just latch onto somebody that's not making an effort to like connect with him. Especially his dad's not here and he doesn't know her. So a lot of my issues should be like taking charge a little in her life and actually not just going to the daycare and complaining to a worker there.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you muted yourself, so I can't hear you.
Oh.
I don't know if you muted yourself for everyone as well.
Nope, I did not mute myself. That was...
I can hear you now,
Yeah,
but it's like
there.
very quiet.
Now, is that
there
better?
we go.
That wasn't me.
Yep.
That was the Twitch guest star thing.
Yeah.
That was I don't know what point it muted, but
You were just getting into how she... It like literally like less than 30 seconds.
yeah, my issue with her as a character is she should be getting herself out of the situation herself.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
shouldn't be complaining to some daycare worker. She complains that she has no relationship with her stepson, but does nothing to try to build a relationship with her stepson. And there's definitely worse parents in video games I've played, in Persona games I've played, in this Persona game I've played, but there's definitely better. And another hydrate. Yeah. And so yeah, no worries, Dark Data. Have a good night. Catch you later. But yeah, so I will say there is a point late in the social link where you end up trying to, like, she's like, I think, confiding in you feelings and like crying over something, and her stepson gets really defensive, like, you made my mom cry, and punches you out.
Yeah.
And then you wake up, and she's just like, oh, thank you, that was kind of the bonding thing we needed. I'm just like, what the fuck, woman?
Yeah.
Sorry my language, but like, I don't hate her as much as some characters, but I really found it hard to get to like her a lot. She doesn't seem like a very compassionate person.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem like she very much thinks about others over her own feelings.
Mm-hmm. Very narcissist.
And I don't think she grows much out of it. She definitely ends up with a relationship with her stepson by the end. But she as a person still seems very flawed.
Yeah. Her as a person, I don't think actually change other than, like you said, the relationship she has with her stepson, in part because of her stepson punching you.
I'm putting her in
Like-
C tier.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't actively hate her, but I don't like her much.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to like her, because at first I was like, oh, another mommy character, for lack of a better word.
Well, she's like the reverse of like I, right? She like seems like a nice, sweet person, but then like you get to know her, and you're like, oh, you're actually kind of terrible.
I mean, to be fair, I probably got a little like vibe spoiled by her too, because I was following a guide on the right things to say in the social links, and like on her like rank 2 or something, she asks you if you like kids, and you have to, the right thing to say is no, I don't.
Yeah.
As a daycare worker.
Yeah.
And she wants to hear that. And I was like,
oh yeah, for sure. That's
there's
definitely,
there's some red flag there. What?
Yeah, that's mild interface spoilering. But yeah, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the other people
yeah.
I saw play it clicked that they did like kids, because they thought that's what, of course, the mother would want to hear.
Yeah.
And they never knew, because it was just, you don't always get any notes, so how would they know?
Yeah, I definitely also did that my first time when I was playing it blind. I was like, yeah, of course, I'm a daycare worker. Why wouldn't I say I like kids? That'd be weird. And then when I saw, like you said, that the perfect response is to be like, no, I hate kids. It's like, oh damn. I mean, I already knew of her because I'd already experienced her story, but it was like, that's savage. The fact that she wants to hear that.
She wants to know the person responsible for taking care of her son, because she's not. also doesn't like kids.
Yeah, also
So-
would rather be at home watching soaps.
So yeah,
Hisano.
that aside, yeah, I meant to do her before Eri, but is it Hisano? Is that it?
Yeah, Hisano.
Hisano.
Or as
The
she
Death
calls
Arcana.
herself, She calls herself Death.
He calls himself Death. My frame of reference for Death personas ranged from Sexy Doctor to the literal personification of Death. And somehow Hisano is more terrifying than the literal personification of Death.
Yeah, fair.
Hisano is an old woman who is, I think, recently widowed.
Yeah, she's recently widowed.
Yeah, because she's mourning during New Year's. She's recently widowed and calls herself Death and talks about her husband, how you look like her a lot. And at some point asks not to see you again. And you have to go anyways if you want to raise it, of course. And eventually you learned that her husband, I don't think they straight up said it was like dementia or something, but something. His mind deteriorated in old age, and he started to forget her.
Yeah.
And she kind of felt trapped being married to somebody who doesn't even know who she is. She felt alone. She felt like the man that she was in love with is gone. And she ended up even starting to hope for his death. And to the point that she believed that her desire for him to be dead is what killed him. And, yeah, I mean, her social link does result in you kind of getting her to accept that her feelings were valid, and feeling that she was like that she was still a victim in her husband's illness too, and that it doesn't mean she didn't love him, and it doesn't invalidate what they had together.
Yeah.
It's her social link is very existential.
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
Like, by the end, I was like dreading it because like I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about what it'd be like at that point in life, being married to somebody, them not knowing who I am, them dying, how alone she feels, and just knowing that she's close to death too. Like, it's a lot. It's a very heavy. It is a lot heavier than the personification of death in 3 was.
Yeah.
Like,
Outcry and I like had to have that conversation, like a what if, and if either of us like were in that situation, because you're right. Like it's tough to not know what to do, because like the other person doesn't even know what's going on anymore in a lot of those situations.
And I mean, like, I found out after my dad passed that my mom and my dad did discuss what they wanted if one of them like ended up in like a vegetative state, because my dad was in a coma for 3 days before they pulled the plug, and so like it was what he would want. He didn't want to be in a vegetative state indefinitely. So like I realized that's the type of thing, especially as you get older, that you would have to discuss with your partner probably. But like it's heavy topics, and in my silly anime waifu game.
Silly anime trumpet waifu game.
Yeah, so that being said, I don't think she's low tier for that. I actually would put her in A tier. I think she's a really good character.
Yeah.
Even if she outright terrifies me, kind of, to focus too much on, I'd put her right here, above Namatame and below Yumi.
Yeah. Well, it's the memento mori of it all, right?
Yeah. Like, if I replay it, I might, like, kind of, like, not even, like, read too much of what she's saying, because it's a lot for me to process when I'm trying to, like...
Well, plus, she's one of the ones that will level up regardless of what you pick.
Yeah, she's one of the rare characters of Persona that
like
level
she'll
up. It's
have
automatic.
different level notes for certain things, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, she'll level up every single time.
Yeah. And you don't even need the Death Arcana, whatever, a Death Persona. Okay, so Sayoko, is that her name?
I think so. Yeah.
Sayoko, right?
Sayoko Uehara, the nurse.
Yeah, the nurse. This is the second one of the social links you get from a job. This is from working as a janitor at the hospital at nights. And she comes off as something at first.
As something.
I'd say she flirts with you, but that's really an understatement of what she does.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's straight up sexual harassment.
Yeah, like she practically initiates a sexual encounter every time she talks to you.
Well, early on.
Yeah.
And she knows you're a teenager, so that is problematic. She does have, though, a lot of, like, when you start to get to know her, like, first of all, if you're actually know what the right choices are in your encounters and your conversations, she wants most you to reject her and for you to be like, no, this is not okay. She doesn't actually want that relationship with you, which I think a lot of people miss. And they think that she legitimately wants to like mess around with you, but not only does
that's what she has to do in her line of work because like life has conditioned her to believe that.
Yeah, like if you pick the things that are like, yeah, sure, I'm down for this. Obviously, she still doesn't do that stuff with you. And if you pick the stuff that you're like, listen, I'm here to do a job. She wants to hear that. She, I think, is a character that is just in general, from what I've seen of other people, very misunderstood in a lot of regards like that. Her social link involves finding out that she was like fired from a previous job because she ended up having, I think she had a relationship with the doctor but didn't know he was married or something.
Yeah, it was a misunderstanding on, like, she wasn't aware of the ramifications, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then she, got essentially thrown under the bus.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card.
Mute ad. Yeah, we're not sponsored by Wells Fargo.
No.
But Wells Fargo, if you want to be, I will sponsor. It can be sponsored by you. Okay, but yeah. So, sorry, fixing the windows. So, yeah. Overall, and by the end of the social link, she does leave, which is kind of sad. I don't love the social links that like have the character leave, so you can't see them anymore. Though, I mean, I don't like hold that against them. That's character progressing. And so, but I don't know. I actually really like her. I don't think her story's super deep, but it's fine for what it is, and I think her personality is really interesting. Had she actually been trying to initiate a sexual encounter with a minor, I would have not liked her, because that's not good. But she wasn't trying to, and I think that the nuance in that character is important, that she's acting that way for other reasons and not because she's predator.
Yeah.
I would honestly place her in top of A tier. Current top of A tier, at least.
That's fair.
I also think she has a really cute design, and
yeah,
as somebody
like
who is not
sweater.
A 17-year-old boy, I would be interested in her.
Yeah. I have a little cheat sheet of characters near me, and apparently in 5, the doctor when she's calling the hospital for the social link for the hospital, is talking to her.
Interesting.
Yeah, she says Uehara-san.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like, I literally, the gap between both games was so long for me that I didn't even realize.
Fair, yeah. I don't know if I would have even noticed anyways if I played them in order, but
Yeah.
Last of the social links that I feel are like more minor social links.
Yeah.
What's this little
Shu.
shit named? Shu.
Shu Nakajima.
Shu Takumi.
Shu Nakajima.
So Shu Takumi is a
Nakajima is actually like a really relevant name for the Shin Megami Tensei franchise.
Fair.
That's the name of the first protagonist of the Shin Megami Tensei
Huh.
games.
Well,
Shu Takumi is also very funny.
This definitely has no relation to that protagonist.
Yeah.
Shu is a kid. Is the last of the three that you get from doing a job. It's the tutor job. You go to tutor him. He's a snobby little asshole that
Yeah.
you tutor, and he complains about how dumb school is and how dumb everybody is, and like how dumb just life is, and
Yeah.
but he does have an interesting plot thing where he ends up getting in huge trouble because he cheated in school, and he cheated in school because of the pressure of his mom expecting him to do perfect, and they end up the song loop is finally end because it's a 2-hour loop. He ends up having to kind of start his relationship with his mom over on new ground, which honestly I do think, despite him as a character kind of being anti-me, I think that was an interesting plot point. I find it actually kind of relatable. I didn't cheat on anything, but I was kind of felt growing up that I was expected to get like essentially straight A's or close to straight A's. My parents gave me that impression. I was kind of a golden child, so to speak, in that way. And it wasn't until partway through college when I got, I think, a C in a class, and I completely lost it because I thought my parents were going to be like livid, and like when they like saw me essentially have a breakdown over it, they were like, did we give that impression to you? I'm sorry, like you don't have to be perfect. So like I find Shu kind of relatable in a sense, in that the expectations and then kind of the breakdown of a relationship and the parent not realizing the strain they kind of put on. Like my parents definitely never explicitly said anything that they expected me to get straight A's. It was more of a, they acted so proud and stuff and always talked about it that I felt like I was expected to.
Yeah, you didn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah, and I didn't know the repercussions if I didn't. So I think Shu is a very relatable character. I don't, as I said, I otherwise kind of find him kind of annoying in how he acts for a lot of the social link. But he's also like a middle schooler, I think. So he's like 12. Like a lot of 12-year-olds are assholes. Sorry, 12-year-olds that are watching. You guys are the exceptions. Also, you shouldn't be watching this. This stream is marked for mature audiences. Get out of here.
Get out of here, child.
So, I'll put him in upper B tier right below Ko. You have any thoughts before we go on?
No, not really. I mean, Shu's just kind of like you said, just like bratty kid who has to fail to learn that failing is okay, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, now we're at Nanako. The linchpin of the entire game. Possibly of the series.
I have nothing to say about this character.
Possibly the linchpin of, like, gaming and narrative storytelling itself.
She's overrated in my opinion.
Wow, you just made a lot of enemies.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine loving the Persona 4 game and not caring about Nanako?
Oh yeah, the game does so much
man.
to make you love Nanako, and I can't imagine actually enjoying Persona 4 without liking Nanako. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you wouldn't be properly like Persona 4 wouldn't be offering anything you care about then.
Yeah, like Nanako, your relationship with Nanako is like integral to understanding the world that you're entering.
Yeah, the Nanako is technically your cousin.
Yeah.
You like any other Persona game, you're moved to a location for 1 year, whether it be for punishment or something, or you're gonna die in a year, or I don't know.
Well, in 4 is that your parents are working overseas.
Yeah, they're working overseas in 4. So you go to live with your uncle and your cousin. And Nanako at first is this shy little girl. And as I'll try not to talk too much about her dad until we get to her dad, but as you get to know her, you realize that she's essentially been taking care of herself, very self-sufficient. And she is just the sweetest little girl that she just wants somebody to like be with. She doesn't want to be alone. And as soon as you start showing her the slightest bit of like attention, she asks if she can call you big brother.
Yeah. Like she's so like attention and affection starved that the second
and she was told
with her
dad told her that she would never have a sibling, that her family would never get any bigger.
Yeah.
And so that actually happens very early, that she ends up starting to call you big brother. And
it's tragic.
Every time you get home from school, you'd get her cheerful, "Welcome home, big brother."
Welcome
or big
home,
bro,
big
sorry.
bro.
Welcome home, big bro.
Big bro.
Oni-chan.
Tadaima, Oni-chan.
And yeah, so you just build this relationship with her. She gets kind of involved with a friend group too. They all kind of act like big siblings to her, which is the sweetest thing.
Yeah, they take her to Walmart, which she loves.
Yeah, she absolutely loves fictional Japanese Walmart.
Yeah, Junez.
A lot of your first lines that you really hear her speak, because she's very shy at first, are when commercials for Junez come on and she sings the jingle.
She loves that jingle. She
even has a dance. She does a little dance with her hands. So cute.
Yeah.
And she I'll talk about her relationship with her dad when we get to her dad. Which is really hard not to, but I also want to mention that there's a mechanic in the game where you can eat stuff in the fridge once a week for a courage boost, usually very sketchy stuff.
Yeah, usually like fuzzy expired products, you know.
But
something
one of the
used
weeks
to be a pear.
It's a package of flan with the name Nanako written on it, and if you eat it, you get an extra courage boost. And the guide I was following said to eat it, and I pretty much had a mental shutdown.
Yeah, he really did. I remember he had to take a break from playing the game for a couple of days.
I stood in front of the fridge. I ended up putting my Steam Deck into sleep mode and walking away because I just couldn't do it. Eventually, after a little while, I came back. I clicked yes, and then I talked to her, which she just responds something else. She doesn't know, but she either way is sad about something. And I just put my thing back into sleep mode again, and I was done for the night. I was like, I can't do anything else. I just
Yeah.
destroyed this little girl's like day tomorrow.
Yeah, she's trying to go get her flan the next day, and it's not there.
Yeah, and she's gonna be so crushed and not know what happened to it. Like, this is how attached I got to this fictional little girl.
Yeah.
And I think that was a credit to the game that got me feeling that, like, guilty over something that the game doesn't even have her acknowledge happens. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's like one of those things now. Like, I literally, every time I see flan at the store now, because of like your experience with that, I immediately think of her.
I haven't even had flan IRL, and I'm worried, like, I'm gonna have it, and I'm just gonna think of, like, Nanako's tears. Like, somebody's gonna, like, get me flan and be like, how is it? And I'm gonna be like, it tastes like an 8-year-old's tears. They're gonna be like, what?
It tastes like I crushed all joy in a small child's life.
Yeah, but overall, yeah, you build this really close relationship with her, and the game does it for a reason. They end up making her a victim near the end of the game, and she dies. Depending on your choice, it's permanent for that ending. And it is, by the way, there's some parts of the game where you could tell the voice acting is from a 12 or 13-year-old. I think it's older than that. I think it was 2008 or 2009 it came out.
Yeah.
A, like, 16-year-old game. This was not one of the places. Nanako's voice actress was really good. And it really tugs at your heartstrings during the plot. So, yeah. Honestly, Nanako is kind of the soul of Persona 4. I never knew how much I would care about a character in the game, let alone like to like a level that affects me mentally.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very good attribute to how well written they did the scenes with her to make you really care about her. And you end up feeling very protective about her. She is S rank. She is currently at the top S rank.
That's fair.
Anything to add?
Oh, I mean, no, like, Nanako is everything you said. You know, like, it's such an important character, and, like, I think it, like, really, like, makes you think of the game and, like, relationships in, like, a really strong way, especially because of the way that the story plays out. Like, it really does want you to, like you said, throw the character through the TV as punishment because, like, they killed your sister, you know?
Yeah, I think that's something that neither 3 or 5 did with a social link to that level. To make it... Like, they definitely had social links that were very important as a plot, but not... They didn't use the social link to this effectively to manipulate your feelings to the plot events. At most, they just did it to, like, get you attached to a character and then plot twist, they betray you or something. But unfortunately for every Nanako, there's a Dojima. Who's next? Dojima is your dunkle, your dad uncle. He's the one who agreed to take you in, and after picking you up and taking you home, he proceeds to go fuck off, and you see him like 4 times. I mean, you see him more than that, but the thing is, as mentioned, Nanako had to take care of herself, and he that's because he wasn't present. His Nanako's mother and his wife passed away years ago, and he kind of, a combination of throwing himself into his work to try to capture her killer because it was a hit and run, a combination of that and just him struggling to face Nanako because she reminds him of his dead wife, make it so he's pretty much always at work, and he'll make promises to do stuff with Nanako and then promptly break them. And you get to see the fallout with this little girl, and that's part of why you get so attached to her, is because you step up to be the one to be there for her because her dad's not. One part of his character that really stuck with me was that he not only doesn't do almost any of the chores, he only makes coffee, and he says straight out that the reason for this is when he married his wife, she said the only thing he would have to do is make the coffee. And I'm like, what kind of shitty person are you that you stuck to that to the point where she's gone? You're taking care of this little girl and you're making her do all the chores because your dead wife told you didn't have to do them? Like, are you proud of yourself? Like, you're just a bad dad. He does grow a bit over the game. He starts to, especially if you social link, you start to see he accepts that he can't hold that against his daughter and stuff. What happened? He needs to actually be there for her now because she needs him now. And even in the story, he gets hospitalized from an injury trying to save her. And still, his character only grows so far. The epilogue has Nanako coming back from piano lessons and mentioning that her mom used to play piano, and he basically makes a comment that, like, I almost would have been against that because, like, I don't want reminders of her. I'm like, what the heck? Dojima is, when I said that that there's worse parents than Eri in this game, I was talking about Dojima.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of Dojima, like, I don't want to say apologists because that's kind of derogatory, but like fans, people that think Dojima wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like people comparing, like, oh, you got muted again.
There we go.
Yep.
Don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that, like, try to defend Dojima and think that he grew to be, like, a good father figure in the game. Is somebody who has very strong opinions on fatherhood in general, having lost my dad that I think was honestly a really good dad, and I'm very attuned to how fathers are portrayed in media, which often is not good, and usually very unequal to how mothers are portrayed. Dojima is still barely above the bar of, like, badly portrayed media fathers.
Yeah.
In that the bar's somehow still below him, but I wouldn't call this man a good dad even by the end of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, Nanako honestly should be living with you and his parents. Like,
yeah.
At this point.
Dojima is the type of person that he's a father, but not much of a dad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I unfortunately, I'm going to put him in D tier.
That's fair.
I'm actually going to put him above Mitsuo, even though I know you like Mitsuo.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't like. I mean, I like Mitsuo for the theoretical potential of Mitsuo. Mitsuo as a character in game, it's trash.
Yeah, and I'll say, up until around mid-November of the game, Dojima would be F tier. Dojima had enough growth to go up to D, but D for me is still bad. So
Yeah. It's still a failing grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say about Ryotaro Dojima that you have not said yet is that, like, even in those moments where you're like he was trying to, like, you know, he got hospitalized because he was trying to save Nanako, like, I'm like, he was, like, it's like, it was easy for him because that was his job, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's like 100%, like, he just is cop. Like that is the thing he is most, and it just so happens that being cop in that moment also meant that he was theoretically trying to be there for his daughter in that way.
Yeah. I will stretch it beyond just that accident still to, like, he kept reopening his injuries, trying to visit her in the hospital, and then even which that's a little beyond his job, and beyond his job as cop. That's not beyond his job as a dad.
yeah.
But and his intense reaction to her dying.
Yeah.
It did make you think, well, you still could in your lifetime turn around and be a good dad. You have a lot of work to do, but you're not an entire lost cause. And
like,
you
it
do
definitely
care.
could be one of those things where, like, Nanako as an adult could look back and be like, yeah, you weren't a great dad back then, but, like, you definitely grew into being an okay dad now, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I mean he's above that bar, because also he does, I believe, genuinely love Nanako.
Yeah.
That doesn't automatically make you a good parent because you love your child. But
Yeah.
I do believe he
like,
genuinely does, and there's parents that don't. So
yeah, like, we spoke about this a little bit because, like, for me, like, I don't know if you remember the conversation, but like Dojima is unfortunately very similar to, like, my relationship growing up with my parents. And it's like, and that's like the thing I said about, like, yeah, you weren't a great dad then, but, like, you're a pretty good one now, like, is kind of like what happened with me, you know? So, like, when I played the game, I thought very little about Dojima's behavior being abnormal because, like, that was my normal, you know? It's like my dad would come home from work, eat, and then lock himself in his room, and I wouldn't even know what happens, you know?
I mean,
like, there's so many things about my dad that I literally didn't even know until this year. For good or ill, you know? And it's like, I didn't even, like, literally, it was, like, so normalized. But, like, after hearing you talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, Dojima's kind of a scummy, not good dad.
I mean, had I played this as a kid, which is M-rated, so, like, I don't know if I should have, but had I played this as a kid, I don't think I would have been as harsh with Dojima, and I didn't have a dad, like I had a better dad than that, but, like, I also wasn't, I was a kid, I didn't realize how much should be going into being a parent. And it's like, it's kind of like how like reading a reading what was it, young adult fiction as a kid versus an adult. You read it as an adult and you're like, why are these kids acting dumb and doing things they shouldn't do? Yeah, so, like, I'd have that mindset. That. Yeah, so if I was playing this as a kid, I'd be like, oh, this is fine. Like, he's the kids are taking charge, but no, they shouldn't be. Like,
yeah, no, I was just gonna say my litmus test for, like, do you think like an adult or do you think like a child is, like, knowing someone's opinion on the plot of Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Like Disney's Little Mermaid. It's like, do you think Ariel was in the right, or do you think her dad was?
Yeah, that's a good litmus test.
Yeah, because if they're like, oh no, Ariel was right, I'm like, oh, okay, that tells me everything I need to know about where your mind is at.
Yeah. I also do want to add, Dojima, that I think one of the big moments that really tests whether he's a dad first or a cop first is when you get the letter threatening, when Yu gets the letter threatening one of his loved ones, and Dojima's first reaction is to take you downtown to question you, leaving his daughter, who he knows has developed a close enough relationship to you to call you big bro, leaving her home alone right after actively reading a letter saying somebody close to you is going to be next.
Yeah, you take her with you. Like, you bring her to the station and put her in your desk and put some VeggieTales on or something. Like,
he was so much a cop before a dad that he didn't even consider it. Like, he didn't consider who could this be talking to at risk. He was just like, I need to get information.
Yeah.
And his daughter really should have been a consideration. Like, I know he was used to leaving her home alone, but this was a pretty dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 2 more non-party members.
Whoop whoop.
So first, Adachi.
Toru Adachi. Cabbage Man himself.
Adachi is a goofball cop who slips up and gives you information when he shouldn't, and just kind of silly and incompetent at his job. I will put him in honestly, I want to put him in low S. I actually like Adachi. He's silly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Moving on.
But Adachi's the big bad, and he's well, not the big bad, but like kind of
the catalyst for the jouissance, the narrative through line.
He is the serial killer. He is. The game kind of, if you max out his social link, you do get an extra scene. The game kind of shows you that this is what you could have become.
Yeah.
And Adachi is really very much kind of a foil to you in that regard. It's very similar to how Akechi is done in 5. Where he's the other character given the same similar power, but he formed no bonds. Like, in a lot of ways, I feel like Akechi is a better Adachi. I actually want to move him to A because, now I think about it, he's an unrefined Akechi.
Yeah, for sure. Akechi is definitely the logical evolution of an Adachi character.
Yeah, but I do like the bumbling idiot thing with Adachi. That it was very clever, and had I not already from the fan base seen things that made me suspicious of Adachi, I might not have suspected him at all.
Yeah. No, I certainly didn't. You know, in the one part of the game where you have to like indicate who you think it is, and like you get an ending based on it. Like, I had to save and reload until I got it right, because like I skipped over him. Like, I would have never thought, like, why him? Like, there's nothing in the story, and then you have that pause, and it's like, oh wait, there's multiple things in the story. What am I talking about?
Yeah, they do a good job at hinting at it without spelling it out. Something that I think is done well in some other games, like the Zero Escape games and Somnium Files, where they have plot twists that are repeatedly hinted at, but in a clever way that you might not notice, or there's a good chance you won't notice the first time.
Yeah.
And I definitely, when this game gets a remake, I'm interested to knowing what I know now about Adachi, see what I can notice. So, that being said, I still stick to roughly where I place him. I think he's a good enough villain. Yeah,
it's a good character, like in both, facets of himself. But as you said, right, definitely not an Akechi. by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but I think I see a lot of people who don't think he's that good, and I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's fun. I mean, he's definitely has a fan base.
Most of the fan base I've seen post really silly stuff with him, so
yeah,
I think they lean into the silly part, even if that was kind of a facade. Okay, and last non-party member, Marie.
Marie.
Yeah, I did keep calling her Mari when I was playing it. Not Marie, but like instead of Marie, I kept thinking Mari. I've been ruined by Tactica. But yeah, she is the other Velvet Room attendant I mentioned 2 hours ago. Who's she's punk emo scene kid who is also very tsundere.
Yeah.
Which immediately put her on my radar as I tried to figure out, do I want to date her? Because, and I'm like 98% sure if I played this when I was a teenager, I would have dated Marie.
Yeah.
She was aesthetically literally the type of girl that I was into and dated. And the tsundere insulting you stuff, I think I probably would have eaten that up. I still like that. I appreciate other characters more, but like, I think she's still a fun character. It was interesting getting a Velvet Room attendant that was that heavily invested in the plot that like they met the party members. I don't think any of the other Velvet Room attendants met party members outside of like spin-off games or at the very end, I think, of 5. But like I think I would put her probably honestly right here, right after Adachi. I know you don't have as much experience with her because you only did Golden once, I think you said.
I mean, I've gone back to it a couple of times, but like it's definitely like I haven't gotten up to the peak of, you know, where all the things with her specifically happen at the end, towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
I usually stop around like one of the last party members dungeons and then just call it there, you know.
There.
But yeah, I like Marie. I like her. But yeah, Golden is not my baby. You know, like base 4 is definitely where my nostalgia lies. So I like her. I like her in the spin-off content. I like her in the fun little, like you said, tsundere moments and stuff. But yeah, you know, take it or leave it, quite literally.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. Like her epilogue, I think is really fun. Like where she's literally just being like, "I want it to rain tomorrow."
Oh yeah, the weather.
Yeah.
Or she's just like, "Oh, he's visiting, so I'll make it sunny for him. Unless he wants rain, he should just let me know what he wants." Yeah. And meanwhile, the rest of Inaba is like, "The fuck is going on?"
Yeah. Like the forecast said it was gonna like torrential downpour up till 3 seconds ago.
There literally were dark rain clouds.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we established she can control weather.
I mean, I thought that was obvious.
Yeah. And you just look at her, and you're like, oh yeah, she definitely looks.
No, I mean, given the context of that scene.
Yeah.
But also, I just kind of assumed that Velvet Room attendants are like insanely powerful and can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Given how the fights go with them.
Well, yeah, but she's not cut from the same cloth as other Velvet Room attendants to say it. Yeah, she's built different, quite literally.
Okay, but she was, spoiler alert, we've already said so many spoilers. She is also a god.
Yeah. Like mega spoilers for the entire franchise. Like, Igor didn't make her.
Yeah. Well, she said where she came from.
Yeah.
And, like, again, she was basically a god. I think made by Izanami.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I still assumed she was at the same power level, if not higher than the Velvet Room Attendants.
Yeah, I would say she's stronger than a Velvet Room Attendant at full strength.
Yeah.
But we don't really get to see that. So.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say we fight her, but we don't fight her. We fight an aspect of her, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so party members. So first, our little problem child, Yosuke.
Yosuke.
Honestly, I like Yosuke as a goofball character. He is the type of person I probably would hang out as a friend. He's also the type of person I'd have to keep being like, don't say stuff like that.
Yeah, like, dude, no, that's uncalled for.
Yeah, like, that's actually very offensive, Yosuke. Don't.
Yeah, that's, like, I love you, friend. That's very problematic.
I do wonder about the timeline where we got Yosuke as a romance option.
Yeah.
And I know, like, the voice lines were recorded and everything.
Yeah. He was originally intended to be a male-on-male romance option, but he was cut.
Yeah, and there's some lines that definitely were left in from that, like him talking about the protagonist being good with their hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But even if he's problematic, I don't dislike him as a character.
Yeah, I think it's just like he needs to grow, you know?
Yeah, he's no Junpei. He doesn't have that kind of character growth happen in the game.
Yeah.
But he also, I like him more than I like Ryuji in terms of first male friend.
Mm-hmm.
Though maybe he should be compared to Morgana because that's the magician. But I definitely like him more than Morgana. So
yeah, yeah. Like, Yusuke's definitely one of those people who, like, as an adult, like, probably looks back on their teen years and was like, yeah, it was, like, super cringe.
Yeah, I'd put him...
Like, I can't believe I dyed my hair all, like, that color.
Low A.
My king.
Right here.
I can't wait until we get to Matt Mercer. I'm so excited.
Okay. I didn't give any background for him, but he's the first party member you meet, and he's
he's the general manager's son of the local Walmart.
Yeah, he had a thing for Saki Kunishi, and even meets Saki Kunishi's brother. And
yeah,
he a lot of his story arc is because the Persona 4, I didn't say this explicitly yet, but Persona 4, I said a little about confronting your shadow, but that's how you awaken your persona, is confronting your shadow, your id, or whatever. Mm-hmm. The part you most want to hide. And his was kind of that he was doing all this to play the hero. Like, that he isn't actually doing it because of Saki. He's doing it because he wants to be the one to come in and save the day. And, like, I have lots of thoughts on the whole confronting your shadow thing. I don't think I would hold any of the character shadows against them, because it's, even if it is a part of you, it's your id. It's the part of you that you don't, like, you wouldn't act on. It's the intrusive thoughts. And you don't judge somebody on their intrusive thoughts. That's You judge them on how they behave, how they choose to be.
They're extrusive thoughts.
Extrusive. And so, well, of course, there was a part of that was like that. He genuinely did care about others and care about stopping all this. And during the heated moments, like when you first confront Namatame, he's the one to first act. He's the one to first want revenge. And he's definitely not doing it to be the hero. He's doing it because he truly feels that way.
Yeah.
So next, Chie. Second party member. What?
Chie Satonaka.
Yeah. Second party member. The only female chariot arcana I know of. She likes two things: watching kung fu and eating meat.
Yep.
When I first got her in the party, my first thing to always do when I get a character is look at their equipment, and I saw her weapon was shoes, and I thought she was going to just go full Italian/Latin American.
Yeah, smack people around with a chancla.
Yeah. No, she kicks, but that's very in character. Honestly, Chie is probably the character for me that, out of the party members, that I started out kind of feeling indifferent about, but grew to kind of really like. She has a lot of charm for what she is. Her shadow was that she wanted, it was very focused on Yukiko, her best friend, and her shadow was basically like that Yukiko, I think it was that Yukiko basically needs her, that she's the one, that she thinks she's better than Yukiko.
Yeah, but Chie subconsciously likes the fact that Yukiko is submissive to her.
Yeah. And a lot of her social link is about learning to getting the power to defend those she cares about.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a very complex character. She's a chariot arcana. She only has a handful of brain cells, but those brain cells are like all working in a good direction. None of there's nothing.
Yeah.
None of them are ill-intentioned.
Yeah.
Heck,
Most
the
of
only
time,
the only reason she's not high on my characters I'd want to romance the game is that she honestly looks very young. See?
Yeah.
It's the way her face is shaped. She looks very like baby faced.
Yeah.
I actually like her a little better in the anime cutscenes, the way they animated her. But
yeah. Doesn't her hair get a little longer too in the epilogue?
Yeah, she has longer hair in the time skip, and Yosuke has shorter hair.
Yeah.
So like Yosuke got her hair. Because I think it was only like 3-4 months. Like,
yeah, it wasn't very long.
I don't know how Yosuke got so much, or how she got so much longer hair. Yosuke just get a haircut anytime.
I mean, Kanji.
We'll get to Kanji.
We'll get to Kanji. I'm so excited. I keep trying to not bring him up.
I think your mic's a little further from you. It's a little harder to hear.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm picking at. I'm fidgeting. Go ahead.
I'll put Chie about there. She's higher in A rank. I like her.
That's fair.
It's hard to not just put the entire party all up in S. I'll just say that, or most of the party. I'll get to that, but like even Yosuke, I would have put up in S normally, but I'm trying to be fair and not just stick them all near the top.
Yeah.
So, but know that the party members honestly would get a little more bonus points, and I'm holding back a little. Yeah. But Yukiko. Yukiko, when I first met her, I thought that she was going to be my romance choice, but I only knew 2 girls at that point, so fair. She is the daughter of the owners of the Amagi Inn and future manager. Her character traits are she laughs hysterically at stuff, and I'm trying to remember the other one.
Well, she likes terrible puns.
That's laughing hysterical and stuff.
Yeah, that laughing at
They kind of all like terrible puns, unfortunately.
Yeah. And she's really bad at cooking.
All the girls are really bad at cooking. That was just a thing.
Yeah, but like her whole social link is about her cooking.
Yukiko? No, her social link was about her her secretly leaving town after she graduates and not running the Yamagi Inn.
Yeah, but doesn't it start with like cooking stuff? Like you gotta go to the store and get ingredients and stuff, and then you're like casually talking about her, like looking at schools.
I think there is 1 or 2 ranks at the start where you do is about cooking. I wouldn't say the whole social link is though.
Fair. Like I said, I remember the beginning and end.
Yeah. Hers, a lot of it is about inheriting the Amagi Inn and her not really wanting to be stuck here. And honestly, not my biggest thing with Yukiko at first was the ending of her social link being her deciding to stay and inherit the Amagi Inn. And I initially didn't like that because I felt that she's giving up, sacrificing her dreams to do what's expected of her, and I felt like that wasn't character growth. But I think I'd mentioned to you privately that I kind of at some point had kind of epiphany that I was viewing it at a very Persona 5 way, where the character growth is very much about breaking out of what's expected of you. But Persona 4, I noticed that it's more about learning to accept the things you have. It's more internal acceptance versus like external acting.
Yeah.
And I think it makes more sense because it's not that she didn't want to, that no part of her wanted to inherit the Amagi Inn. It's just part of her felt trapped, and I think she kind of comes into the realization she's not trapped. She doesn't have to do this, and that makes her realize
the autonomy to make that decision herself.
Yeah, as long as she has the choice to do it, she wants to do it. She cares about the end. I honestly love her though. Still, she's sweet little goofball that will probably die someday from laughing too hard and suffocating.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
Next, our boy Kanji.
My himbo king.
Kanji, unfortunately, is one of... What?
Half a brain cell, himbo king.
He is not that dumb. He is very, very left brain smart.
Yeah, he's left brain smart. Fair.
He's not book smart, but he knows... He made a bunch of plushies in like 2 days, having never made them before, depending on how quickly you do your social links. The point is he can figure out how to craft things he's never made before. That takes brains. Kanji unfortunately is one of the ones that suffers the most from the writing of the game, and hasn't aged well because a lot of his social link, or not social link, his original arc is he may be gay.
Yeah.
And that's...
He may be gay?
Yeah.
He may be gay.
Yeah, and that's treated as the dark secret he needs to hide from the world. And fine, it's not super accepted. I would kind of take that of him accepting it, but he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't, the game doesn't. After that, the he may be gay thing is just brought up now and then as a joke.
Yeah.
And rather than... So it doesn't seem like he accepted anything there. In fact, he gets upset with those jokes still. It seems like... And of course, the guy he was feeling gay feeling for turns out to not be a guy, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was a very cop-out kind of thing. And it's a shame because Kanji otherwise is an amazing character. He's often somehow the voice of reason. His weapon, while the others are grabbing like actual things to strike with, he brings a freaking chair into the TV world.
Yeah, his strongest weapon is a mirror.
Yeah, his weapon is just big blunt objects.
Yeah.
And he's just he does have. I was gonna mention the time skip that we see him without his blonde hair dye, and I still don't like.
Yeah, you forgot. You didn't even recognize who he was in the picture. He's like, who's that guy?
I was like, why is there like a middle-aged businessman with him?
It's so good, yeah.
But I really hope they manage to tweak the writing to do him a little bit more justice in the inevitable remake.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he's a low S rank character for me.
Yeah. Like in my dream remake of this game, I would completely redo Kanji's like entire dungeon to be more kind of like heaven, like Nanako's, but like filled with just like, you know, like flowing rivers of like candy cane juice and like bunny rabbits made out of like dreams, you know, like make it super like fluffy, girly, like bouncy. And his trauma is that he doesn't want to be associated of just being exclusively into like cute things. And like that's the part because he's like so into his like I gotta be macho, right?
Yeah.
So he has to confront that.
I'd like them to still have the gay angle and actually lean into it more and have them accept that, or at least bi. I think he'd be fine bi.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, his palace was kind of a little offensive. I do think that like. Because his shadow was like very leans into the LGBT are like a bunch of like
well it's the hard gay, like I say that like as a Japanese, I don't know if you know about, there's a character named hard gay in Japanese culture, like a social, you know, on TV and stuff, where it's just like a man in BDSM gear that like does a lot of like pelvic thrusting and stuff. Like he does like street interviews, if I remember correctly. Like he was really popular at the time where the game was made. So he like leans into that and the whole bada of it all, like because bada literally means rose.
Okay.
And bada, as you know, but I don't know if everybody else. I mean, this is the internet, so of course everybody knows. Like it's gay content made for men for the male gaze. So like that's what Kanji like really leans into, which is all fun and game until we remember that he's a child in freshman year of school.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's walking around wearing a towel.
I mean, he's walking around wearing more than the next character. Reset.
You bet.
Rize, if I wasn't the way that she ended up being in the end, Rize would be my first choice because I do love Rize as a character.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that she is a realistic product of a a what's the
A
word?
consumerist like lifestyle. Like she literally is designed to be
Yeah,
consumed.
yeah. I was just say the result of a industry that
Yeah.
commodifies young women,
Humans.
including children,
Mm-hmm.
and that is not her fault.
Yeah.
In fact, I really liked her backstory. You get to know where she was really shy and she tried to do this to like kind of escape. She was like bullied and stuff. She did it to try to be a new person. And it is unfortunate that like she ended up getting treated like that, and she does end up deciding to go back to that lifestyle despite it. Which I have mixed feelings for.
Yeah.
I need to see how she's portrayed in other stuff that happens after this story to see if maybe at least she stands up for herself a little more in how she's portrayed.
Yeah.
But like her shadow is bearing it all to the world, even more than Kanji.
Yeah.
Like there barely was cloth on her.
Yeah.
And
and then when it transforms into a monster, it's literally
a pole
technically
dancer.
naked. Yeah, it's a pole dancer that with a psychedelic skin.
Yeah. Rise herself is it does come very strong onto the protagonist to the point that it's not coming on strong.
Yeah.
She's outright like making innuendos, but if you pick any options back, she's like, "Whoa, we're in public."
Whoa.
Like what you said was 10 times more suggestive, but okay.
Yeah. Like literally like one of the scenes she's like, raise your hand if you want to go back home and do something naughty, and then she raises her hand,
Yeah.
and then like the best response is for you to not raise your hand.
Yeah. Because if you do, then it's like, whoa, senpai.
Yeah.
What?
Senpai, what? Why are you thinking those things? Ew. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to headcanon that a lot of that is because she's used to being treated as the commodities, so she wants to be on the opposite end of it.
Yeah, she wants to consume others.
She wants to be the one in control of it, not the one that's being controlled.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, I would go so far as to say that is canon. I wouldn't even say that's headcanon. Like I would agree with you 100%.
I think it's kind of similar to on Persona 5.
Exactly, yeah. With the whole like dominatrix being like, this is what I think is a rebel because like this is how I exert control.
I mean, I
right?
know people who feel very strongly that's not well written in about Anne, and probably would agree or feel the same about her. But like, that's kind of how I feel it is. Again, a lot of these games, they're kind of a product of their time with the writing, and plus Japanese culture is very different.
Well, yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, unfortunately, right? Like, it's meant for consumption, right? Like, we like the industry that these games are generated for have specific things that we expect from them, and unfortunately, the sexualization of the characters is par for the course at this point.
I think that's fiction, at least, and the more unfortunate thing is that Rise is a reflection of a very real industry in Japan.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you've played Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and again, that's a reflection of it. I've seen actual horror stories about how it is in Japan and in the idol industry. Mm-hmm.
And I'm still putting her in S tier. She is probably my favorite party member.
She's great. She's my favorite navigator for sure.
I
mean, I like Futaba a lot, but I'm
really hard. It is close between her and Futaba. I probably would pick her.
I think Futaba is useful. I haven't played Reload, so like you mentioned that
if we mean
reload Fuka is like super useful.
Yeah, if we mean actual usefulness, no, reload Fuka is so good that every time you pop her theurgy, which realistically you could get in a boss battle like 2 or 3 times, there's like 1 of 3 effects. Either all your attacks are all your next attacks for everybody are charged, either it's a party-wide heat riser, or everybody's fully restored HP, SP, and status problems.
That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely wild, and I just, when I'm not fighting a boss, I just save it until people are low on SP, because it almost, when everybody's low on SP, it almost guarantees the SP one.
Ooh.
So she is unbelievably OP, but like,
yeah.
So, and yeah, Futaba then by comparison is the least useful of the navigators. But outside of usefulness, I don't know. It's close between her and Futaba. But Futaba I see as my little sister. So
yeah,
Rize I see as a peer. So at least
for sure.
Either way, yeah, I really like Rize. I look forward to seeing her in the other content that I need to consume just to see how she is as an idol. I'm curious.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I guess we'll move on to Teddy.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just put it. Just place it somewhere and move on.
I know you want to.
What? I'm curious what
I'll just say. No, I don't think you're gonna put him in F tier, but like I definitely think that like basically the running joke of the entire time we were talking about the game was your relationship with Teddy.
Well, that's not a joke. Teddy. So
Teddy became the butt of your jokes at the end of the game. You're like, Teddy wasn't even involved in the cutscene, and you're like, yeah, it was Teddy's fault.
So Teddy is a very interesting character. I'd compare him most to Ryoji in Persona 3 or Morgana in Persona 5 in that he is...
That's fair.
He is a product of cognitive reality, kind of. He's a shadow, aka an id, that became a person. In this case, he grew literally a body.
Yeah, he physically created a body inside of himself.
Yeah, that's his ego and I assume super ego. I'm not gonna get into psychology right now. I'm not super familiar with super ego stuff, but like
we're 3 hours deep into this.
Yeah, with 3 characters left. But so I think as I mentioned, I was watching Rick play this last night. I've seen other people play it, and I think a thing a lot of people forget about Teddy is literally that he was just an id until not that long ago. Yeah. And so when he ends up being completely a perv and stuff, like, you do have to have that context.
Sense. Yeah.
It doesn't make it excusable.
Sense. Yeah.
But he didn't start out as a person, and in fact, as a cognitive being is essentially less than a year old.
Yeah.
And not only that, yes, less than a year old, and started purely as base desires.
Yeah, that's what it would be weird for a game that like puts so much stock in Jungian psychology for Teddy to just be like a normal dude straight from the get-go, you know?
Yeah, and I think it also doesn't help that he lives with Yosuke for the whole game.
Yeah, Yosuke is not a good role model.
Yeah, like he already, before that, and I've already had a discussion with Zykel, that before that, Teddy was still doing and saying inappropriate stuff, but not to that level, and it really magnified with Yosuke.
Oh yeah, well, because Yosuke, I can 100% like feeds into that like viscerally when he's in private, you know.
The first time you invite Yosuke into your room, he tries to guess where your dirty magazines are.
Yeah, like that's what I mean.
And he literally has a scene that he complains Teddy showed his family the his dirty magazines or something. So like,
Yeah. It's like, dude, you're the one that has dirty magazines that you're showing off. Like, if you didn't want them shown, don't show them.
I fully assume Teddy just found them because Teddy has no sense of personal boundaries either. But all things considered, that doesn't mean I don't blame Teddy for his own inability to behave properly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give him an F tier because it's not fully his fault. And
Yeah.
he's written in the way that he should be. But he does. He does.
He does.
He makes me uncomfortable a lot. He says the things that even Yosuke isn't willing to say. He
Yeah.
breaks the law on multiple occasions, including stealing medical charts.
Mm-hmm.
He outright sexual harasses and I think even sexual assaults people.
Yeah.
Like he forces himself onto Kanji when they're at the club. And he doesn't get reprimanded enough for the stuff he does. They're just kind of like, oh, that's Teddy being Teddy. Like, they kind of did encourage it early on when he'd be like, I want to score with you girls. And they were like, that's cute. Maybe sometime. So, he's the result of several teenagers, some of which are sketchier morals than others, trying to raise an id that became a human only months prior. I'm putting him at the top of D tier. He is my least favorite party member. And even if I was generous, he wouldn't go higher than C.
Yeah.
He at least serves as decent comic relief, but a lot of the jokes he's comic relief are kind of like the lower end of the jokes that I'm like, I wouldn't horribly miss them.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear, though, my D tier placing doesn't mean I think he shouldn't be in the game or that he heavily needs to be changed. It's just a personal, I don't like him and I wouldn't be his friend.
Yeah.
So, and he's probably the only party member in the game that I wouldn't be their friend.
Yeah.
Like, I felt...
the only thing I... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, at the start of the January stuff in Golden, when he was like, oh, you're going to be living alone, senpai? Here, I'll live with you. And Yosuke was like, no, don't do... You not going to have you have to deal with him. Or with you. And, like, that's... And then you get stuck with him taking care of you for a month. Probably in a very awful way, given he's actively did stuff that they said he shouldn't be doing with a sick person. So... It's just, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say the one thing I'd like to add is that he's technically the only mandatory automatically progressing individual social link with a character. So at the end of the game, there's a section where all your friends that you've maxed them out with rally to give you the strength to carry on. And it's so funny to always imagine a playthrough where he's the only one.
There's gotta be playthroughs.
And, like, there has to be plenty of them. And it's just such a funny mental image to experience that. It's like, I can face a god thanks to
no, after that, I as you would have questioned everything that led me there and been like, no, you know what? I give up.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Take humanity. We don't deserve to exist anymore if this is the byproduct.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, now for Naoto.
Now for Naoto.
Yep, get out your nows for Naoto. Naoto, I like Naoto as a character. I actually think that if I was ranking in order that I would romance, she's probably the lowest. And that's not out of anything I dislike about her. That's purely because I am definitely attracted to, like, female presenting, I guess, which
femininity.
Isn't
like
really.
Naoto presents more androgynously.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate because they do make it a part of her character. Like, if you want to date her, like, you outright, like, need to remind her of her, like, that, or not remind, affirm her being a woman rather than, if you click the option that that's your gender doesn't matter, it actively locks you out of the romance.
Yeah.
So she wants to be perceived as a
tell
woman.
her to, like, pitch up her voice and stuff.
Well, that you don't have to, but that's the thing she wants to hear most is not pitch up even. It's her normal voice. It's that you like her normal voice better than her voice uses to sound like a male or more androgynous. So I think she does desire to be perceived as a woman. And in fact, it's a little different post-epilogue because she actually is presenting much more feminine.
Yeah.
And I really liked that look. If she looked like that the whole game, maybe I would have felt a little different, but probably not because her social link also didn't get me that attracted to her.
Yeah, it's less romantic, more Phantom Thievy.
Yeah, it was fun. Her thing, I didn't mention this yet. Her thing is she is the detective prince. She's portraying herself as Mal because it gets her taken more seriously in her field of work. And she came to investigate the serial murders. And the shadow she ends up confronting is the part of her that's like they just think of you as a child, and you'll never be able to be as good as them. It's her insecurities that she can't perform her job, I guess, as well as others in the adults in her field and the men in her field, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her social link is entirely essentially playing a hide and seek game with her childhood inventions that her grandfather made it seem like were stolen to try to reinvigorate her desire for I forgot what the proper word for detection.
Yeah.
So she is a fun character. I do like her. I do agree with some things I've seen after beating the game, or after getting to the scenes, that a lot of people do feel that once she joins, she's the only one. She's doing like the soul solving of the mystery while everybody else is just kind of there. Which is due to her being the actual detective and being the smartest one in the group.
Like, why would you not, right? It's like, somebody is injured. We should try to help. You, the person who is an emergency room doctor, don't do anything.
Well, it's not don't do anything. Do equal stuff to the people who know nothing about medicine.
Yeah, do equal stuff to the people that know nothing about medicine. Like, it's only fair. It's like, no, like let them do it. That's their job. That's literally Naoto's job.
But I do think she, in a lot of this conversation, I agree that she kind of carries the conversations once she's joined.
Oh yeah, the second she joined, like literally, they got so much more progress because she's actually smart about it.
Well, yeah, but also like people do point out that the others did figure out lots of bits like about the patterns and stuff on their own, and it does make it seem like the characters get a little dumber once she joins. If you like pay attention to the stuff they say, they don't act as clever as they were when they didn't have her there.
Which is frankly very accurate to real life. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
Well, yeah, I mean, when somebody else is more qualified and doing more of it, you're probably not even thinking as hard anymore.
Yeah, your brain is like, I don't have to commit any more energy into this.
Yeah. I see the point, though, that people have, that it feels like it kind of suddenly revolves around her in the conversations. And so...
That's fair. That's fair.
It's just kind of, if anything, just a kind of unfortunate effect of the smartest character is the one to last join the party.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've seen kind of compare it to how once Makoto joins the Phantom Thieves in 5, they all seem kind of dumber, and she'll be like, "Oh, so what's our plan? What's the plan for infiltration?" They're like, I don't know. She's just like, wait, the Phantom Thieves were acting this whole time without a plan? And it's like, no, they were acting with a plan, but
yeah,
it's kind of similar to that now that we have the smart character, the rest have to act dumber.
But that's still, I mean, I understand this is going to become a recursive argument, but that's such a teenager thing to do.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's good at it is somebody who's good at this group project could do it all. Yeah, I'm just not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, did you guys do the slides? Oh no, I just couldn't find the images. It's like, oh, it's real easy. Just you Google this website and then you pull the images. It's like, wow, you're so smart.
I will say also Naoto is another one like Kanji, but not to the extent of Kanji. That did suffer a little from the writing.
Yeah.
Especially with the reveal, there is ways things are written by her, by other party members, and even by NPCs that are kind of not really well written.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you mean he's a she? And stuff like that. And like... though I do like that at the very least that they make it clear that the girls who were attracted to Naoto when they thought she was a dude are still attracted to her. They still vote for her in the beauty pageant. They still... They're like... basically say stuff along the lines, well, she's still really handsome.
Yeah.
And like... I like that Mulan effect of she kind of makes some people a little more bi. So
yeah.
I think unlike Kanji, it would be a lot easier to fix any of the writing issues I have done with Naoto in a remake. I do wish they were able to commit to the idea of Naoto being trans, but that wouldn't fit the story. Like, for a remake, that would completely change everything. So, Naoto definitely isn't trans. So,
yeah, I think that's like the most important thing. Is just like at most they might be able to pull off Naoto rejecting her female identity, but not fully embracing a masculine one. And because like you could the plot can kind of lean in that way.
I guess they could lean into
her
being non-binary. I can't see them doing that though.
I can't see them doing it either. But like, there is an alternate universe in which that's the way it goes, and I could see that happening. But I definitely can't see them in any universe making her trans.
Yeah. And I'm gonna place her literally right below Chie. They're like neck and neck. Okay, any other thoughts before I move on to the final one?
Nope.
Okay, the last one is you. Not you. You.
Not you. You.
You, last name begin with that. What?
Narukami.
I actually was gonna say that, and I was like, I'm gonna say it wrong, aren't I? You, aka the protagonist, obviously, at least in the context of the game, is subject to some interpretation as a character because they are the self-insert character where you can kind of choose how to respond to things out of set options, unlike the anime and the manga, which I assume both actually characterize him more.
A little.
Well, comparatively, I'm sure, at least.
Yeah.
But
well, they do lean into like the fact that he's a silent protagonist. Like he speaks in the game and stuff in the shows, but like it's like they play it for laughs that like he could be like super stoic in 1 second and then like go into like this like Shakespearean odyssey about how delicious the rice beef bowl is. You know? So like that's kind of the vibe, which
Fair.
I'm here for. It's very funny.
Fair. So of course I'm just gonna say though my kind of interpretation of the character. I've talked a little with you about it. Not you, the character. You
with you?
Inheritance.
Yeah.
But I kind of got different because obviously the options you have as dialogue do kind of set some precedents as well as the way events unfold.
Yeah.
So my kind of interpretations of the protagonist for 5, I kind of viewed. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
I kind of viewed Ren. Oh, I combined Ren and View. I viewed Ren as kind of a high charisma, almost like theater kid.
Yeah.
Very, very showy. And Makoto from 3, I viewed as an emo kid. I mean, how could you not?
Yeah.
Emo kid that's kind of just like, point a gun at my head? I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah,
oh, crap,
whatever.
I lived. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe next time.
Like he's willing to befriend people, but he's not super, like, invested. He just doesn't care about not.
Exactly.
Bonds. But, like, you, meanwhile, I view him as just the ultimate nice guy. The person who just can't say no. That's how he winds up being Nadeko's big brother. That's kind of, for the social links, like, a lot of them put you in a situation where the option to say no feels like the asshole option.
Yeah.
I feel like he just kind of, like, he had to, unlike the protagonist of 5 and 3, you had no investment in the events of the game that were happening.
Yeah.
Ren
like
had the
just stayed at home.
Yeah, Ren had the investment that literally this is why he's had to switch schools and has a criminal record.
Yeah.
Makoto had the investment that, I mean, he's waking up or he's awake from midnight for the hour at midnight every night, and the world's like, what are you gonna do?
Well, and it's implied that the full moon shadows would actively start targeting him if given enough time.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did attack the first one did attack the dorm. But he's not even from this town. Why would he care about the murders?
Yeah. He doesn't even go here.
He doesn't know anybody involved. The murder started literally before he had a chance to form a relationship with anybody affected. And yet he still chooses to essentially help found their, what do they call themselves? I forgot what they call their group.
The investigation team?
I think it was the investigation team.
Yeah, it sees the investigation team and the Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, he pretty much helps found the investigation team, despite not having that investment. And I only interpret that as he's just like nice, like a very kind person. I'm not saying I wouldn't if I found out that I had the power to help things when there's murders happening around me, but I'm also not going to say that you have like it would be mean of somebody not to.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, knowing myself, would probably be more like Sumire than anything else.
More like
Be
what?
like
Oh yeah,
Sumire from 5.
I don't know.
Like it's like
I
I don't know if I have the hero complex necessary to put myself at risk all the time. I'd be like, yeah, like I'll help if I can, but like
I mean,
I don't
maybe
wanna
this is just
die.
my cognitive view of you, but I've always kind of seen you as very, very much has trouble saying no. So I kind of felt like you'd be like you, but
That's so confusing. But you're right. You're right. I would struggle if they asked me to. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be the teen mom, bring snacks to the meetings and stuff.
yeah.
I'd probably be a healer. Be great.
I mean, also if you're in that position and you're the only one with the wild card, like
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to stay out. But like,
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the protagonist for sure.
if you're the wild card, I don't think you have the choice.
I know, you're guaranteed. Although I'd be interested to see what my Velvet Room would be like.
I feel like I know it depends on the state of the person's heart, but it feels like it also depends on the events going on.
I feel like for me, it would just be like the ball pit at a McDonald's.
That's a very blue ball pit.
Yeah, welcome to the Velvet Ball Pit.
Your Velvet Room attendant is just Grimace.
Grimace just pops from under the balls. Be like, you want to fuse a persona? I'm like, yeah, Grimace, I do, please.
Grimace is just like, will you take me around and show me where you live?
I don't know if I'm allowed to. I feel like you have to have multiple restraining orders.
Can you take me to the park with you?
No, you're not allowed within 100 feet of any public parks. I'm sorry, Grimace. Chom.
Okay, but where would I put you? It's always really hard to place the protagonists.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of the 3 protagonists through the games at this point, I like all 3. I think I have the least feelings for him.
That's fair. Oh man, sorry. One more thing before I drop it.
Yeah.
I just realized that all of the balls in the ball pit and the ball pit itself would be velvet. Ew.
Why is every
Ew.
texture in the Velvet Room velvet?
No, but it would have to be, knowing my brain, you know? Like, I would manifest it as all velvet in the most disgusting way possible. Oh,
The slide into the ball pit.
oh God. Yeah, that's how you go in. You have to slide in.
Oh yeah, but you know, sometimes the loading screen is kind of long, so you might be sliding for a little while sometimes.
I know. Just on velvet. Just sliding on velvet for like 20 minutes. Ew.
You're just like, why is my brain like this?
Yeah, why am I like this?
You have no one to blame but yourself.
I know. It's terrible. Okay, that's it. I just needed to get that out.
So I think I will place you right here below Margaret and above Ko.
Oh, that's fair.
What?
That's fair. No, that's very fair. That's very fair. I wasn't expecting him to be there.
Oh, where were you expecting him?
Just like compared to the rest of the cast, you know? Like, it's interesting that he's higher than Namatame. But like, I'm not telling you to change your mind. I'm just saying, like, compared to his colleagues on his tier, you know?
No, he's lower than Namatame. Namatame's A rank.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's interesting that he's lower than Namatame.
No, he's B rank. Oh yeah, he's lower than Namatame.
Yeah, Namatame.
Yeah, no, because
you think more highly of Namatame than you.
It's that I think Namatame is more interesting of a character.
Yeah. And that's fair. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't expecting that. I'm not saying change it. I'm saying it was like it's like unexpected in like a good way. Like it's like interesting that how you think of the game. And
Yeah, I mean, I see him as like vanilla ice cream flavor, while I see like Makoto being like probably a dark chocolate.
Yeah.
While Ren is probably like that Aztec spicy chocolate.
Oh yeah. or like some like random ass like red velvet cheesecake flavor.
Red velvet cheesecake funfetti.
Yeah, like red velvet cheesecake funfetti flavor.
But with the Aztec spice in it.
Yeah, but with the Aztec spice in it. That's the chocolate for the red velvet. You're like, why? Why would someone make this? And why is it good? Why is this the most delicious ice cream I've ever had? I'm upset about it.
No, I would still go for the dark chocolate, but
yeah. I mean, I would go for that red velvet.
I mean,
funfetti.
It's gonna. Chocolate. I feel like it's gonna take a long time before I can properly settle how I feel comparatively about all the games about every aspect. Yeah. I do know I've recently decided I like the regular battle themes most in 3.
Yeah.
Not the boss themes. The boss themes, at least in Reload, are kind of and I think the boss themes in the other 2 games are both better. But the regular battle themes I like most in 3. And so I'm still kind of sorting all that out. But
yeah. I mean, once you go through like the renaissance of the Persona games, you should just tier list them.
Oh, that would be so hard. Like, can't you just wait till I have children and ask me to tier list my kids?
Yeah, I feel like that'll be easier.
Yeah, no, I've really tried to think about which I like more. In the most, I can be like, well, I played 5 first, so like 5 Royal, but really I don't necessarily think I like, outside of the kind of sentimental, it was my first one, I don't necessarily know if I'd place it. Like, I definitely like, for example, like the dungeons more.
Yeah.
I like the dungeon exploring aspect more. But like, when you factor into everything else that I feel is very important for the Persona experience, like the theming, the music, the art style, the stories with the different social links, like it gets so complicated that I'm like, I don't know if I can straight decide which I like.
No, fair.
More.
Yeah.
I'm very glad about that all 3 of the mainline ones I've done, that I've really loved them all. I think I voiced early on when I just played 5 that I was worried that I would only like 5, and I didn't want to be one of those.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I'm happy you like them all as well, you know?
Yeah,
like,
honestly, the
franchise.
only Persona game that I'd say is kind of lower than the others is Tactica, which I still loved it. Strikers is about as high as the mainline ones.
Oh,